Yo, everybody, I'm back. And this time you should be able to hear everybody. Yay.
Let's check just to be sure. I'm going to pull up your YouTube stream.
Probably a good idea. Jeff, I assume that's you being our first viewer.
It is indeed. Should I drop a like?
Sure, why not? Maybe it'll
Okay,
get
my
other
voice is
people
going
to
through.
like.
I assume Historians is as well.
Yeah, if they can hear you, they should be able to hear him when he's back.
That's weird. I wonder why for like individual one-on-one calls it's not picking up, but if you go into like your Discord voice channel, it does work.
I don't know. That was weird.
I missed all the ghost talk then.
Well, it was mostly me talking about ghosts.
Was it the same story about your grandmother on the bed and she was a
Yeah, it
ghost?
was.
Yeah, I've heard that one once or twice. Wasn't there one you told about like a hand on a doorknob or something like that? That was
Yeah,
a
there
ghost.
was that time. There was like a hand on a doorknob and scared the shit out of me.
Okay. Let me listen back. Am I being okay? Yes. Now I can. And
Yeah, it works.
we have Quattro Viewers. We have 4 viewers. I don't remember exactly what we were talking about before all that. In fact, I don't know what the heck we were talking about when people couldn't hear me because we were talking about a lot of spit.
Ghost stuff, right?
Not really. I mean, that was the end of it. We were talking about a lot of other stuff.
I just joined, so I don't know what you're talking about before that.
Casket, earlier before we were on stream, why don't I just say this so people can kind of join before we start talking about ghost stuff. I had been talking about you and what would happen if I posted a picture that I had created of you kissing Jared Fogle. And what did you say?
I said I would probably take it down.
But you said if somebody else posted the picture, you would probably take it down. But I said, what if I posted the picture? And you said that would be a little harder to say, right?
Well, yeah, I would assume you're either making some sort of weird joke that I don't understand, or you've been like hacked.
What did you say about, and Casket does hate to kind of be associated with Jared Fogle, as we all would, because he's Jared Fogle. But what did you say about the video that you made that has been streamed on live, where you were talking about Jared Fogle getting his own day in a certain Florida town?
Yeah, I made that video at your request. It does exist on my hard drive.
Right, you made the video at my request, but what I thought was really shocking that I had never heard before that you told me today is that you knew when you were making the video that it wouldn't be published and you were just doing it for me, but you knew you were kind of lying to me in terms of publishing.
I mean, to be fair, I never said I would publish it. Like, it's a crazy video about Jared Fogle. Why would I publish it? Like, oh, he's getting his own holiday here in Tampa. Oh, I'm gonna be out there protesting. I don't want people to show up at some random place and start protesting about shit that doesn't exist.
Yeah. What about when I said, hey, because you said no, I won't publish it, and then I said, what if we, so that nobody could misconstrue it, if you drew a picture of a headline on a newspaper, like nobody could think this was a real newspaper, and you drew a picture of a newspaper saying like Jared Fogle gets his own day in Tampa, and you did kind of laugh at this idea, and I think I don't know. I did try. Sometimes I do try to float ideas by Casket, and me and Casket do not agree in terms of humor. But what about that, Casket? Obviously, that video has been shown before on live. Now that it has been shown, would you consider posting it with a disclaimer in the comments saying, I didn't do this. It was all at the behest of the historian. It's not me. I don't agree with this. I hate Jared Fogle. And I personally hate Jared Fogle as well. But do we?
a real
I
jerk.
guess I could upload it.
I don't wanna make you, Casket. That's
Hey,
that's
Casket, I heard through the grapevine that you may have a sponsor lined up. Are you still doing that video?
Oh yeah, I've got a sponsor lined up for a
What?
video coming out soon.
Ooh, what is the
Wait.
sponsor?
Well, you said you were going to make a video about it like a week ago. More than that, probably 2 weeks ago.
Well, the thing is,
What?
it's not going anywhere. It's in the box.
Yeah,
the
no, which means
box.
you could have filmed it at any point.
I know.
in the last
Look,
2 weeks.
I gotta get my mom to agree to hold the camera for me.
Oh, it's not
What?
just you're not just gonna put it stationary, the camera?
I don't have anywhere to put it.
What's the video? What is the sponsor? What's
My
going on?
bathroom literally has no counter space.
Maybe you can't say the sponsor, but what's the? You literally have a
No.
sponsor lined up who's going to pay Casket money.
But I think he could do it without. You don't have to move the camera around, do you?
No, I don't. I don't have anywhere that I can actually set it. I have no counter space anywhere to set the camera.
What?
Maybe if I sat it on the back of the toilet, but it's like a weird shape, so it might fall off. So I don't know.
Oh, so you're filming it in a different room, is what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense.
What? Man, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't inquire more because I don't want.
Yeah. No, this is a confidential sponsor, but people
Yeah.
will
What
find
the
out when the video
heck?
comes out.
Do you think the sponsor knows about Casket, or is this kind of one of those sponsors that just kind of
If
sponsors?
they don't know about me yet, they will.
Wow. That sounds ominous. Okay. This is the strangest. Okay, I think we've only got 2 viewers. Okay, now we've got 3. I'm one of them. I assume Jeff is one of them. So I guess we've got 1 viewer. We had kind of talked about some supernatural things. Then I had said,
I found the
Casket, is it okay?
clapperboard.
Sorry, what?
I found the clapperboard.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Let's
that.
write something
Okay.
on it, shall we? I haven't written anything on it yet.
Can you
Wait,
clap it? Can you say, okay, but can you say, like, ready, action, and then clap it, and
Ready,
we'll start.
action.
He can't do it too loud, otherwise his dog gets spooked out.
Oh, I didn't even know about that. That must be
be
private information off stream, because I did see Casket unboxing it, and I had no idea what it was when he was unboxing it. And then when he did unbox it, I saw that you had said, don't write, if you write anything, it might not be able to be erased. And then I guess Casket.
Yeah, some of the
Scribbled?
Amazon reviews complained that like they wrote on it and they couldn't erase it.
Yeah, and
I
I guess
think
Casket like scribbled on it, and he said, "Oh, I can't erase this." So I was thinking, "Oh, you probably shouldn't have scribbled on it." And then Casket said, "What did he say he was going to write on it? Like Casket Crew podcast," but it was specifically about the video reviews. So I thought, I don't know if you should write that.
All right, I've written 1 number on here. It is now. We are forever filming scene number 69.
Oh, you did write that. Hold it up to the camera. Okay. It's hard to see because it's so small, but let me zoom
Oh, there we
in.
go. That's good.
Yeah. All you have is scene take
Every
scene
scene should
69.
be 69.
Scene 69, and then you straight take 420, roll.
Roll
well,
should
it's a
just be
weed
his favorite
roll,
kind
right?
of red roll, like a Kaiser
Right.
roll or something.
What are the other?
We got date, product, company, director, cameraman, sound.
Man, Casket could start his own corporation off of this. Let me look at my stupid notes to try to find notes. I don't know exactly. I was talking to Casket, but most of my notes are so personal that I really feel like Casket wouldn't care about talking about them. And sometimes
There's
I write sorry.
There's a bit to be made about Casket wanting to finance his own movie, but he goes bankrupt after just buying the clipperboard, and he has no financing anymore.
Yes.
What
By the
would
way,
your
historian
movie
did-
be if you could make it,
Ooh,
Casket?
Good question.
If I could make a movie, okay, am I allowed any intellectual properties?
Oh, it's gonna be like Toy Story 5 or something.
No. It's not
Wow,
gonna be Toy
you
Story
answered this
5.
question, but I have a great response to this that I just saw in my notes. That this is so perfect because it's about a movie. But okay.
Dude, there's a superhero I think deserves a movie that just I don't think they're gonna get one.
Man, what could this superhero be? Chat? The-
man.
the two, but wait, don't spoil it. I think there are two people in the chat, and it's me and Jeff. I
Wait,
assume. So
narrow
I
it
don't
down.
know.
Is it within the DC or Marvel universe?
It's within the DC universe.
Then the DC universe, okay.
Hmm.
That doesn't help me because I don't.
That's
watch
basically
superhero
isn't
Okay,
that
movies.
well, let me tell you this. It's a
basically
superhero, semi-obscure,
Batman?
only semi though. And I really want him to get a movie.
Hmm.
I'm Googling DC superhero list. There's over 100 DC characters. I'm not going to figure this out. Is it Cyclone?
No, it's not.
Is it Lex Luthor? Is it
No.
Tim
Ooh,
Drake?
what a perfect
I will say it is a
answer.
hero.
The
It is a
Cyclone
hero.
cast does love. It's not a heel, it's a hero.
Darkseid?
No,
Guy Gardner?
no.
Wally West?
Isn't he Plastic
No.
Man?
Kilowog? Saint
No.
Walker? Sinestro? Ragman?
Nah.
Barbara Gordon? Jon Stewart from The Daily Show, but also a superhero?
Man, that sounds good. Man,
I
we're
give
down
up.
to 2. What the heck? This is a good stream. What are these? It's me and Jeff, I assume, we're the 2. And it's like, what the heck? This is a good stream.
Oh,
I
just
guess it's
started up.
Sunday, you know?
People will trickle in.
People are respecting the Sabbath.
So when the
Okay,
stream ended,
Casket. I
people
guess.
assumed it wouldn't come back.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That was tough. Casket. Should we ask, or Jeff? I'll ask you. Should we ask more questions, or do you think you've shot your wad? You don't know anymore.
About the superheroes?
Yeah.
No, I'm out. Yeah.
Casket. What is the superhero that you really want to see a movie be made out of? And don't say Jazz Hands.
No, not Jazz Hands. I think there's a superhero that people are ignoring. I think a Static Shock movie would be great.
Static Shock?
Yeah, Static Shock.
What is he?
Had a short-lived cartoon. Has had several comics. The creator unfortunately passed away. But he's been in a few things, and I feel like they could totally do a Static Shock movie.
Is the superhero character's like real name Virgil Hawkins?
Yeah.
Is that the? Okay, I pulled up the right thing.
What does he do? What's his superpower?
He's got the power of electricity and magnetism and anything you can do.
So
with
he's like
electricity.
What?
It's like an X-Men character.
What if Casket, and I hate to bring up the negative, he had been a spokesman for Subway in the past? Would you still say, yes, I want a Static Shock superhero
I mean, as long as he didn't get caught
movie?
diddling any kids, sure.
Okay, good. Okay, good. We still got two. I feel like we're talking to nobody,
No, we're
which
at
is
4 on my screen.
sad. Oh, okay. Now it jumped up to 4. We've heard 4 people.
What's up, everybody?
Okay, now I'm gonna give a. I saw a note in my Casket history that works perfect here. Casket, don't say it because I assume you know, but I'll throw this out to Jeff and to the chat if other people are here. The first movie Casket saw after his father died was what? Casket, don't say it. What do we think it was?
Fuck, I can't remember.
Oh, I know. I
This is
know.
crazy that we're at the point where the historian knows more Casket lore than Casket. Like, how are we supposed to get the
Yeah.
answer right if Casket doesn't know the answer?
When I look back, well, first off, when I do say it, he's going to say, "Oh yeah." But when I look back at my history, I was just questioning him on certain things, and sometimes, most of the time, actually, I think, man, Casket's never going to remember telling me this thing. It's like you just have to be at the right time in the right place. But what do we think is the first movie Casket saw after his father died, which was, and this might be a great hint, I believe this was in 2008, and this is certainly kind of a movie you might see around the year 2008.
You know what? I think I
Ooh.
remember.
One comment.
Can I
Don't
say?
say it. One comment. Scrim Reaper says, "What's up, Casket Crew?" But okay, good.
Geez, 21
No.
superhero
What if I
movie?
had said? What if I had said it's one of the main actors had his own television show? I'm not saying anything else. We're waiting
I know
until somebody
exactly
can
what it
guess
is
this.
now.
Don't say it. Don't say it. It is a very
Okay, but
funny
wait,
movie.
I can give a clue that Jeff might get.
No, wait. I just gave a clue. Just wait. Maybe
All
he'll
right.
give a guess. But the clue is that one of the main actors in this movie had his own television series.
Oh man, I don't think I can
I
get it.
guarantee you've heard of this movie before, and you've heard of the television series before.
Man, I don't know.
Man, that's tough. What Casket? I feel like it's going to give a hint that's too much of a hint. What is your
this is
hint,
not too much of a
Casket?
hint.
Because nobody. Okay.
All right,
But by TV
Jeff?
star, are we talking about like a talk show host or just any kind of actor in a TV series?
No.
That's way too broad.
Well, yeah, any type of actor on a TV series. Although this is, I assume you know the TV series. Like it's not an obscure TV series whatsoever.
Ooh, could it? When did the B movie come out?
No, it wasn't the B movie.
So I was thinking
I'll
Jerry
give you that
Seinfeld.
hint.
All right,
It was
Jeff,
not a Jerry Seinfeld movie.
I'm going to give you a hint.
All right.
I feel like it's going to be
We
too much of
have
a hint,
watched
but
this
okay.
movie.
What is it? What?
Oh, we've watched this movie.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is insane.
We've watched a lot of movies though.
That's true.
Shoot.
It's a
I don't
movie
know.
you've watched where one of the main actors had their own television series. I wish we had more people in chat. We only got 3 freaking viewers. I feel like they might have guessed it. It's too bad, but man, what if I say it's hard to say it without giving, too much of a clue. Let me try to think of a good clue that's not too much. What if I say, here's all I will say. the actor was a bit hefty.
Oh, jeez.
Wait, I don't remember him being hefty.
Casket might even be thinking of the wrong thing, but I have a note here that I know is a fact, and he will totally accept this as the first movie. In fact, I'll read this. I won't say the movie, but the next sentence is Casket and his father, I guess, had rented this from Blockbuster 2 days before tragedy struck.
And you still watch the movie?
You know what? I know the movie now. I was wrong.
I figured you were. But okay, because I was like, how could you watch this with Jeff? It makes no sense that you guys would watch this movie together.
No,
It's
but wait,
not
no, wait. No, that doesn't make sense.
Casket. I'm
He never had a
gonna
TV
send you
show.
the freaking movie. I'm gonna send you the freaking movie privately.
I
And I
can't
bet
look
you'll
at it. It'll be
go,
on stream.
oh shoot.
Wait,
Okay, I
wait. I know what movie it is now.
But don't
Never mind.
Don't say it.
I
Don't
won't
say
say
it.
It's okay. We didn't watch the movie. I'm gonna say this. It's not about the movie. I thought at first it was Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys. It is not.
No, absolutely not. It's
Well,
much.
why would a famous TV star be in that? Oh, actually, Corey Feldman. I
Yeah,
guess you
Corey
could say.
Feldman.
Corey Feldman. What show was Corey Feldman on?
I'm gonna grab some food, but you guys keep going.
Okay, this is tough because it wasn't about Jeff guessing this. We won't say it. We're not going to say
Yeah,
what
we'll wait for you to
happened.
come back.
I can't
Alright,
believe
yeah.
it. Seems like you've went through like 4 movies here, Casket.
Look, my brain is fried.
Do you? I can't say anything. I wish somebody in the chat could say something, but now we have 2 people in the chat. It's like we don't really have a chat right now. But that's what you get for, streaming on Sunday night. It's okay, Casket. We had started talking about it. I don't know what they had heard. You had started talking about your grandma as a ghost, but can you talk about the story in which you had met a who was an old woman who told you to dig in the backyard?
Okay, so I was living in a little town called Holiday, and I was living in this trailer, and they said the trailer was haunted by this old woman, and she actually appeared in my dreams, and she took me to the backyard, and she says, dig in the spot, and you'll find something. It was by the tree, and I never did it.
Why did you never do it?
I thought my dad would get pissed off for me digging up the yard.
Do you think that there is something there today?
I don't know. If the place ain't been dug up, it could still be there.
Man, do you regret not digging it up?
Yeah, kinda. But my old man never
What
would
do
have
you think?
understood.
That's true, but what do you think could have been there?
I don't know.
Have you ever seen the movie Holes?
I have.
What's the name of the actor who's the main character in Holes?
I can't.
You know it,
Shia
Casket.
LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
What do you think of
Took me a
Holes?
second.
What do you think of Holes?
I liked the book. The movie was okay. It's getting a TV series now.
You read the book?
Yeah, we read it in school.
What grade?
I can't remember.
Oh, come on.
No, I really can't remember. I just remember being in class and reading it.
What if we did a remake of you as Shia LaBeouf in Holes?
That would be funny.
What? Okay, I just said that movie. What do you think would be a funnier movie if we did a remake with you as the main character? What would be funnier than you as Shia LaBeouf and Balls as a 30-something-year-old man?
I don't know. What if I was like the serial killer in like a horror movie?
Well, what? What's the movie?
I don't know. Like, what if I was Freddy Krueger or something?
Man, I think Holes would be
I'm just like a
better.
really out of breath Freddy Krueger.
What about what could you think of as like a movie that you would never show up in under any, like, you could never imagine yourself as the lead character in this movie?
Oh, anything in like a rom com.
Man, what's a rom-com that you could think of?
I also can't think of any. I don't watch them.
Have you ever seen a rom-com?
Yeah, and I thought it was boring.
What was it?
I can't remember. It was so
Who did
boring
you
that I
watch it
can't
with?
remember.
Did you watch it with Alice?
No, I don't think we rented it or something years ago.
Man, who? You and your mom or you and your dad?
Can't remember.
Oh my goodness, how can you not remember, Casket?
This was a long time ago.
Hmm. I would say let's look towards the comments, but
There
it's
are
nobody.
none.
It's Grim Reaper. We've got 2 viewers. We did kind of shoot ourselves in the foot with ending it and then joining back again. Can you give kind of a call, like a literal physical call right now to make more people join?
Yo, if more people could join, that'd be great.
Yeah, but can you do kind of like a noise or like a Nino,
Whoop, whoop.
like a, whoop 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 whoop? More people join in the Casket verse.
Yeah, we're up to 4 now. It actually worked.
Dang, keep doing it.
Whoop, whoop.
Okay, so we're talking about a rom-com that you had seen years ago that you don't remember. Did you like it at all?
No.
I'm like Jeff. I'm kind of making food right now. What have we at? Have we gone down from 4 to 2? Or are we still at
We're
4?
at 3.
Dang. Can you just? I know people get mad, and actually, Casket, I think you get most mad when I say this. Can you be angry right now? And can you just go like, "Oh, why aren't there more having people in
What
the
the fuck?
video
What the
room?"
fuck? Why aren't there any more people? What the fuck? Oh.
Dang, Casket went all out. Still 3. Where the F is freaking My Floyd is Pink 79?
Why aren't there more donations?
Not exactly donations, but I understand. You're just Josh and Casket, right?
Of course.
Oh dang, we're down to 2. What do you have to do in the
See, people don't want
Casket
to see me
universe?
get mad. People want to see me be chill.
Okay, be chill and talk about skateboarding because that's a chill topic.
I really wanted to be a skateboarder as a teenager, but I have no balance, so I really just fall off a skateboard.
Here's an interesting topic that you brought up. I think I wasn't on the stream or I would have talked about it. I know when you were doing this, when you were at the library near the graveyard. But you talked about your poetry. What was your poetry that you had written, which you say is now probably in a landfill? What was that poetry like?
It was very dark, very brooding.
Can you remember like a specific example of anything?
I really got to think about it.
Think about it. We got 2 viewers. You're not going to lose anybody because I think the 2 viewers are me and Jeff. So take your time.
I just remember writing about darkness a lot and anger.
Do you think, in terms of darkness, that the Prince of Darkness, Lucifer, might have been creeping into your life when you didn't know about?
No, man, he's not the Prince of Darkness. That's Ozzy Osbourne.
Okay, so you've said in the past that Satan and Lucifer are different, and you say Lucifer is a light bringer, and I said you should look into Venus, but is Satan the Prince of Darkness?
I don't know.
Have you ever met him?
There's a possibility.
Damn, we went down to 1 viewer, and I'm in the chat. I think it's just me.
Wow.
What can you say about Satan to maybe get more viewers?
Well, well, when how do I put this? He kind of looked like Baphomet, but different.
I didn't even know you knew about that.
See, Baphomet's got like the goat head thing.
Did he have horns?
He had horns, but he wasn't a goat, or at least mostly not a goat.
Was he malevolent or benevolent? Like, was he a good spirit or a bad spirit?
I would say good.
Did he love you?
Well, I don't know that. But,
If you died and the moment you died you saw Satan, what would you think? Would you be kind of scared, or would you think, I'll be okay?
I'd be like, hey, what's up? Where's the other guy?
What if he said, I am the beginning and the end. I am the only one. You worship the wrong thing.
I'd be like, oh, damn.
What would you do? How would you appease him?
I guess any way I could.
What if he said, I am sending you? He went to hell. And as soon as he said hell, it was kind of like fire all around you. And you were back in your trailer that you hate, the worst trailer imaginable. And it's you in it. And it's that 7 days that you were awake. But as you're awake for 7 days, and it's at the end of the 7 days, you've been awake for 7 days, you still cannot fall asleep, and your grandmother enters the trailer.
Oh, God, this would be hell for me.
Can you think of a worse hell, or do you think that's it?
I mean, not without being like tortured and shit, no.
Isn't this a form of torture, though?
I mean, yeah, but I'm talking about like physical.
Yeah. Did you obviously knew your grandmother at that time. What if literally at the end of the 7 days, your grandmother had entered the trailer and was just like,
I would have thought I was hallucinating and pushed her out.
Did you hallucinate during that time?
Yeah, dude. Fucking walls were talking to me and shit. Like, I was going
nuts. What did the walls say?
I can't even remember.
Was it scary or comforting?
No, it was scary as fuck, dude.
Man.
It's like, oh, fuck, they killed Osama. Like, oh, my God, what are they going to do? I'm like freaking out, being paranoid.
They were talking about killing Osama?
No, the TV was.
Man, that was the time that you were... Was that the time when you were awake for 7 days? Was when Osama got killed?
Yeah, dude, I've told you that.
Man, I got to write that down.
Yeah, that was like on day 5. I was still awake for 2 more days after that.
Actually, I think I did write that down. But what did you think when they killed Osama?
I was paranoid. I'm like, oh man, how are they gonna retaliate?
Man, obviously 9/11 is probably the most important day in your life. Would you agree?
Well, it's like my generation's D-Day, basically.
But I'm not talking about your generation. I'm talking about you as an individual.
I guess so. Yeah, it was like the day I kind of lost my innocence.
What happened when you went home that night? I mean, you have a whole video about 9/11
I
on your
remember
YouTube
going
page.
home and we didn't have cable at the time, but every channel was the news. No, we did
And
have
you're
cable at the time. We did have cable at the time because I remember going to Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network, and instead of cartoons, it was like news. It was really weird.
wow, is it
Every
really?
channel, every channel was just news from people you've never seen
Nickelodeon was
before.
news.
Yeah,
Nickelodeon. Wow, I didn't even know that.
like when they told you to turn on the TV and turn on the news, and you're like, which one? You're like, it doesn't matter. It didn't even matter what channel you turned to. It was just all news.
What were your What did your parents say? Were you living with your mom and dad at this
No,
time?
my dad was in Texas at the time.
So you're just living with your mom. At what place are you living at that
The
time?
place that got bulldozed.
Oh, so it was you. Wow, I didn't even know that. I assumed your dad was still living there, but he had left. Man, okay, I didn't even know that. So you come home to your mom. What does she say when you come home on 9/11?
Like we went home and we watched the TV.
Yeah, but what does she say? Does she say anything about it?
I really don't remember what we talked about. I don't think we talked about it. We just watched the news.
Man, man, are you afraid that there's going to be like a war that like America's going to be like a war-torn country?
I don't know.
I'm
I've
back.
never thought about it. Jeff, welcome back.
Yeah,
What
I
about
think Casca's
America being a war
glad.
torn country?
I think Casca's glad because he really didn't have much to say about 9/11, surprisingly.
Oh,
But
9/11 was a tragedy.
I did learn something shocking, which I didn't never knew before, which was Casca's dad was gone. He would move back to Texas during 9/11, which every time Casca told me that story, it wasn't every time you told me that story, I believed that you were I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that he was still there and that the reason that 9/11 was such a major date in your life is because you were like that's when everything changed and that's when the family kind of broke apart.
No, dude, that was dude, when you're like 11 years old, you're sitting there in class and you're watching people jump out of fucking windows. It does something to you, man. It does something to you.
Right, but yeah. I don't know. I feel like you had told me different things, but okay, fine. Now that Jeff's back, we're now back to talking about the first movie. Oh, my flight is pink 79 is back and he says, what's your Discord casket? Casket sends it. We're in the hangout room. They can certainly join.
Yeah.
But now we're back to talking about what was the first movie Casket watched after I don't think it's his dad died, but his dad went to the hospital.
Okay. Maybe I got caught up with the whole 2008 thing because I was narrowing it down to movies that released in 2008, but it could have been like a 2007 movie.
It was a 2007 movie. That's certainly what I'll say.
That's what tripped me up. But then 2007.
I wonder if you've ever seen this. I've seen this movie, but a very long time ago. It's. Okay. I think Casket would agree. It's kind of one of those for the dustbin or the kind of like that.
Knowing Casket's movie taste, I'm guessing it's not There Will Be Blood.
Oh no, absolutely not.
I mean, 28 Weeks Later came out in 2007.
No.
Oh wait, Evan Almighty.
No, I doubt you'll even see it on these lists because it's such an obscure kind of movie.
Is it a comedy?
It is a comedy. I hope he never finds it because I have nothing I have nothing lined up after
Blades of
this.
Glory.
No, that would be too
I'll give you a
mainstream.
hint. I'll give you a hint.
No, don't. You're gonna give too
All
good.
right.
No, give your hand. Give the hand.
All right. So the guy who's in the movie, he's in a TV show. The TV show is a spinoff or a copy of a British TV show.
What? I didn't even know that.
The Office. So are we talking Steve
See,
Carell?
I think
40-year-old
Casket
virgin?
might still
Yeah.
be thinking of a. No,
Wait,
it wasn't a
40-year-old
40-year-old version.
It wasn't
That's
40-year-old virgin.
No, Casket doesn't know this at all. This is insane. It was not 40-year-old virgin.
Good Luck Chuck.
No, although you're close, but no.
God damn it! I
Close,
just
but way
remembered it.
Pasca, how have you had like 20 different guesses? This is insane that I have it in my notes and you don't know it. This is just crazy.
I love the Casket doesn't know it. He's like, the suspense is killing me.
I know it now. I absolutely know it now from the bottom of my heart. If it wasn't the 40-year-old virgin, then I know what it is.
Man, I don't think I should give another hint.
No, I give up. I think we just
Oh,
need the
come
answer.
on. You can't give up. What did people in the comment? Is there anybody saying in the comment? Okay, now we got Far-Faced Trucker. Says, hello, fellow Casket heads. We're looking for the first movie Casket watch. Actually, I don't even have this page up right now, but I believe it was the first movie Casket watched after his dad died. It might have been after his dad went to the hospital. They had gone to block.
Here you go. He's a fat guy. He's been in a lot of movies. He's been in a lot of movies with this one guy.
Casket. Okay, he's a fat guy. He's been in a lot of movies. That's it. We can't give any more hints. I'm giving so many hints.
Oh, who's that? Who's that mall cop guy? Isn't he a fatso?
Ooh.
Kevin James? Was he a TV guy?
It is Kevin James. It is Kevin James.
But Mall Cop came out in 2009, so that would be it. Hold on.
It's not Mall Cop.
I'm intensely IMDbing this guy.
I wish you could just think in your head and not look because you're going to find it too easily now.
I'm terrible with I know movies, but
we got it in the chat. We got it in the chat.
Far-Faced Trucker did guess it. He gets the prize. Casket, can you say it?
The prize is that we love you.
Right, we love you, Far-Faced Trucker. The movie was I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry with Kevin James and Adam Sandler.
That's crazy because I've actually seen this movie. When you said obscure movie, this is like a mainstream movie.
It's certainly a mainstream, right? Yeah.
I saw the movie.
Yeah, and I feel like I even said, well, this is a mainstream movie because I feel Casket gave an obscure movie, which was what? It was Puppet Master 2 or something.
It was
and I was
Puppet
like, no.
Master versus Demonic Toys.
Right, and I said, no, that's an obscure movie. This is a mainstream movie.
That was like the second movie I watched after my old man died.
What was maybe this could be now a movie that could go into the list of movies to be watched, but what was it like watching Chuck and Larry? And had he died yet? Wow.
All I remember is Jessica Biel in that movie. That part of the movie wasn't bad.
I don't even remember what was going on. I mean, they're getting gay married for like taxes or something.
In order to receive domestic partner benefits.
Can you describe the movie, Casket? Now we've got all of a sudden.
Okay, Kevin James and Adam Sandler get gay married, so his kids or something can get on the other guy's insurance or some shit.
Who was the better actor there, Kevin James or Adam Sandler?
Honestly, Kevin James, I guess. I stand him more than I do Adam Sandler at this point.
Wow. Why?
Because Adam Sandler used to be funny. He used to be funny. He used to be really good. I don't know what happened, but he's shit now.
He was funny, but
Where
he
did
was never a good actor. Kevin
where
James
did
might
you
be like
draw
the
the
inverse.
line? That's probably good. That is a good kind of analysis. But Casca, where do you draw the line between Adam Sandler's funny in movies and then he went too far? Like, what's the line?
I don't know. Like, just at one point, he stopped being funny.
Yeah, but like, what's a bad? What was like? Say a bad Adam Sandler movie.
Jack and Jill.
Yeah, that's true.
But do you
Jill,
remember when he went from making a good movie to instantly making a bad
yeah,
movie? Like, where's that cutoff point? Because you liked Little Nicky, which I thought was freaking terrible.
yeah, that's where he stopped making good. I don't like any Adam Sandler movies, but okay, good. Cast
I
that
like
loves the
Billy
classic.
Madison. I like Happy Gilmore. I
Not
even
the
like
Adam Sandler.
even Big Daddy's not that bad.
I would say Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore are good. Big Daddy is certainly he's circling the
I
drain.
like Mr. Deeds. Although
Mr. Deeds is
I will
classic.
say about Mr. Deeds, I can't remember a thing about the movie.
Didn't you say that you love anger management?
That's a Jack Nicholson movie, right?
Right. It's Jack Nicholson and Adam Sandler. Probably.
I would have rather seen
Well, I
that
don't
movie
know.
with Chris Farley. It would have been funnier.
Yeah, that's true, but that's like 90% of movies, right?
Yeah.
Fartface Truckers has all the Netflix ones. I agree, although I haven't seen. Oh, actually, no, didn't. I think the one good Adam Sandler movie that's come out in a long time was Uncut Gems, and wasn't
Yeah.
that a Netflix one?
No,
But it
I'm pretty sure
wasn't like
that went to theaters first. It may have went to Netflix after.
wasn't that like Adam Sandler literally just only acted in it, which he
Yeah, that wasn't
should
his film.
do.
Like he didn't write it
Right.
or anything like that.
That's what he should do. Like, why would you be that rich and that famous and say, "Oh, I'm gonna do Jack and
I just figured it
Jill"?
out. When Adam Sandler
What?
stopped
Like,
making good movies,
what was it?
he was in this like football movie, not the Water
Oh,
Boy.
Waterboy, that one's great.
No, not
he
Water
was not the
Boy.
water boy.
Oh, okay.
He was like he went to prison or some shit, and he had to like be on a
Oh,
football
the
team.
longest yard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Fartface Trucker says it is. As soon as I said it, I was not copying you, but you say that's the word. Like
I
that's
say that's when he started making
stopped
bad
being good.
movies.
Did you like the Water Boy?
That was all right. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that part in the Water Boy when he's like, oh, he's with the girl and he's like, hold this special water. And she says, it's cold. And he says, it's from a glacier in Alaska, blessed by a medicine man. It's always cold. And then the Water Boy is kind of, even though it's one of those stupid movies, it does have its moments, like the Colonel
The Wedding
Sanders.
Singer. The Wedding Singer is a good
Ooh.
one too. But these are all movies like pre-2000, I think.
Yeah.
Once you get past 2000, it's a little dicey.
Yeah, I feel like the Waterboy must be post 2000. Maybe I'm wrong, but
Waterboy was 98.
no way. Are you kidding?
Waterboy 98,
Man.
Big Daddy 99, Little Nicky is 2000. I would say 2000 is where he goes off the rails.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Little Nicky was
when
a
his
bad
Longest
movie.
Yard. When did that come out?
I think a lot later. I don't. Longest Yard was 2005.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
when he started making
2006.
shit films to me.
Yeah. Pripes,
But
I just had a good one. But okay, good, go.
Yeah, I've listed all my good Adam Sandler movies.
Well, did you ever see kind of like, maybe you didn't, but because I don't expect you to see the Saturday Night Lives themselves, but did you ever see like those DVDs. Maybe you didn't. That were like, oh, the best of Adam Sandler, and then you'd see like
Yeah, I've
Saturday
seen
Night
that.
Live. What in terms of Adam Sandler on Saturday Night Live? What was good? Like, what do you remember? What was kind of bad? And then
I
I
thought
think
it
we
was
can
great.
maybe go to Chris
It was
Brown.
back when he was funny. Yeah.
Do you remember? Do you remember what was his name? That was like the little. He was like a Boy Scout. What was his name? Do you remember those skits?
You mean Adam Sandler was playing a Boy Scout as like
Yeah,
a?
I think it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
called the
I know
Canteen
what you're
Boy.
talking about.
Canteen Boy?
Yeah, Canteen Boy.
Did you ever see that one Canteen Boy? And I think it was on like the Best of Adam Sandler, where it's Canteen Boy and it's what the heck is his name? He just got in a lot of trouble. Jingle Jess donates $2. Says, Storm, can you make a casket rap, Mr. Poem Guy? I can't. I'm not a rapper, but I tried to get Casket to rap this one time, and it was on a private call actually, where Jeff was on, and Jeff left kind of like immediately after I started trying to make him rap when I was doing these raps. And I think Jeff was like, "This is too lame. I
I
gotta."
was like, "That's it for me. Good night, everybody."
Right. In fact, it was when what's his name? It was just such a. He was such a big name like a couple months ago. It was the guy who killed the CEO.
Oh,
Um, Luigi
Mangione.
Mangione, and I was rapping about him. I think Jeff said, "Okay, that's enough for me." But I don't know. Casket, can you do a rap? The fans are not only are they asking you for it, but Jingle just donated $2. I think you do have to do a rap.
Well, specifically, he wants you to make the rap for Casket to.
Yeah, I can't. I want to hear what would be like non-influenced by me rap. I want to see what Casket would rap about. And the rap I did, I will say, was very sad. I'm not a rapper. I think you got to be kind of cool to rap. And one thing about me is I'm not cool. Jingle Jess says prose poetry, story style. Slap attack. Just okay. Casket says he'll give it a shot. Casket, when you're ready.
Yeah, throw down a beat.
No, don't throw down a beat. That'll throw me off. I'm back and I'm black and I'm high on crack. I got sweat dripping down my sack. These other two guys are hacks. My age, I will never act.
Keep going.
When I see some titties, I say, "Hey, nice rack."
Oh, good rap. Jingle Jess says
not bad.
that was not bad. Jingle Jess says, "Don't throw down a beat." LOL. Fart face trucker says, "Casket got bars for days." Jingle Jess has
Or like
emojis. Fart face trucker says, "Fire." Yeah. I guess we were talking about Canteen Boy before that happened. Casket, do you remember the Canteen Boy Saturday Night Live?
I do.
Do you remember? There's one in particular that I can remember that I feel like was on the Adam Sandler Best of Saturday Night Live video, which was Adam Sandler, and it was still, I wasn't thinking of his name because I was focused on the rap, but that guy who just got in trouble, not just, this was like years ago at this point, where he was in the movie was called Rust, and he had shot
Alec
Baldwin. Right. Okay. Alec Baldwin. It was Alec Baldwin and Adam Sandler, and Alec Baldwin was a scout troop master, and he was coming on to Canteen Boy. Do you remember that?
I do.
I had read recently, just like maybe within the past couple months, that caused like huge problems for Saturday Night Live, and it was just like the Boy Scouts of America came out against it, and it was
Oh
one
no,
of
the
their
Boy Scouts are mad. What the fuck are they gonna do? Tie a knot? Oh no.
Wait, because of that specific skit?
yeah, they had
I'm trying to.
said this
Oh, I
is
think I
not a
found it.
topic that you should make fun of, and it was a big deal in terms of like, and I think I read even that Alec Baldwin came back the next time he hosted, he had to give like an apology or something, or he talked about it in terms of everybody was mad at this, and I was that skit is to me so it's just not okay. I understand why they could, start clutching their pearls, but it was just not an
My
extreme.
pearls.
Right.
Oh.
It just didn't seem like Saturday Night Live. In fact, when I saw that, I was like, wow, I think I thought a little differently about Saturday Night Live because I thought they might have been a little edgy. But if that was their edgiest thing, it was edgy, that's for sure. Um,
I'm looking at the skit now. It's got John Lovitz in it, Dana Carvey.
oh, wow. I didn't even remember that. I haven't seen it in so long. Casket, any John Lovitz memories?
I don't know who that is.
Look up a picture of him and try to. He's in. What's that movie that's about baseball? That the Napoleon Dynamite guy's in. That I guarantee Casket's seen. What the heck is that movie called?
All right, hold on. Let me look it up.
John Lovitz. You have to. I
Jingle
guarantee if
Justice
you.
Bench Warmers.
Oh, Benchwarmers. That's right. Have you ever seen Benchwarmers, Casket?
I have.
He's the rich guy in Benchwarmers who's like
Oh,
he creates.
that guy.
It is kind of weird that his career never took off. Like
Yeah, but he's been in a lot of movies.
sort of, but I don't know. Actually, you know who I feel the exact same way about? He's a Saturday Night Live guy that I say, gosh, he should have been in 10 times. Yeah, Rat Race too. Rat Race I like. Have you ever seen that, Casket?
Rat Race. I might have.
It's got
I think
Mr. Bean
was
in it.
Yeah.
Right. Right. That's the only other name I can think of, but it had a lot of people. Jingle just says he drove Hitler's car. Yeah,
Oh, man, somebody's
his
like cooking and it's making me hungry.
oh, don't even say that, Casket. I remember the last not the last one, but I wasn't on it, I don't think. But when I was watching, you just kept going, "Oh, I got the munchies, and I gotta go eat." And I was like, "Oh, Casket, come on." Wait.
Sometimes you just get the munchies, man.
Okay, try to think. Hey, 6 people are watching me. Wow, this is a lot of people.
This is quite
We're
a few
talking.
people. We've got 6 people watching us. That's amazing.
We had 11 for a second, but they come and go. But now, okay, John Lovitz is the topic of conversation.
You know what?
Jingle
I
Jeff says,
actually have. I have a topic of conversation.
okay,
Jeff,
what do
me and
you
you
want
watched
to
a
talk?
very strange film recently.
Oh, we talked about
Did
this
we?
yesterday.
Did we?
Wait,
We talked about, I forget what the name of it is, but it's that video game movies thing, right?
No.
Oh,
We watched a very
What
strange
is
German film.
the short.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a film, but
The Short?
I guess it's
title?
not a film. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm thinking too pretentiously. Not a film.
it's a 15-minute cartoon, which Casket often likes to call films, but
What is it?
And
The Short?
it was called I have it on my computer because they made me download it. It's called Judas and Jesus, and it came out in 2009. It's entirely in German.
Yes,
there were no English subtitles, and it was quite lewd.
Yes, it was very
Not
lewd. I thought, I can't show this on YouTube. I was gonna review it because I thought, funny goat characters. But I'm like, oh no, I can't show this.
Is
I
that
said it
why
was-
you showed
I
him
said it
it,
was a
Jeff?
15-minute
Because you said there's
short.
goats?
No. So he'd seen this before, and he asked me if I could download it for him because he couldn't find it. So I tracked
I'm
it
gonna
down for him.
send you. We could watch it right now, although I'd probably it's boring, so we shouldn't. But I'm gonna send it to Jeff and Casket. But a 1924 Soviet cartoon, and it's unbelievable that the Soviets were doing this because they make fun of the Nazis in it. In 1924, the Nazis were very, very, very small. They were something that the Soviets apparently knew about it, but this is in the public domain. You certainly wouldn't get in trouble if you tried to watch it, but um, it's I would certainly call this a film. I don't know. I don't know if we want to watch that, but I think probably we shouldn't because it's slow. It's 1924, but Jingle
It's only 7
Jess.
minutes.
Yeah, it's short. And when I first watched it, I didn't believe it. I thought this is fake. There's no way. There's no way this is a real movie because it's so weird. But apparently the Soviets were really making. In fact, I hate to bring this up, but there was kind of a little controversy earlier in the Casket-verse in which somebody had posted a swastika. And I had asked Casket, did you see that? And he said no. And I had taken a partial screenshot of it and I sent it to Casket, and Casket said, yeah, if I had seen that, I would have removed it. I would have deleted that. Because he said, I don't want the swastika in the Casket-verse. And this, I will say, if you ever do watch this, it does certainly have a swastika, although the swastika people are certainly bad. So I don't know if Casket wants to post it. A person called Rock Sensation says, where did the Casket-verse name come from? I think.
I think it came from Krusty.
Really? I thought I was the first one who, I mean, I don't take any pride in naming the Casket-verse. Maybe Krusty did. I don't know that I got it from Krusty. I started calling it the Casket-verse actually from obviously the Marvel-verse on the cinematic universe, and I just thought it was kind of a funny title. But yeah, I do call it that too much. It's weird. Lately, things have kind of changed. At one point in time, Casket, do you remember the name that I was calling you and you were like, you hated it? You were really uncomfortable with it.
Red
Yeah.
Man.
What was the name, Casket?
Fuck, what was the name?
You just said yes. You just said you knew.
I did, and then I completely fucking forgot it.
A lot of people call you it today. It's not something obscure at all. People call you it all the time. I
What,
just
badass?
think like, no, obviously not. I wouldn't say something mean. But when I hear it, I think there was a point in time in Casket's history where if you called him that, he would not like that whatsoever. It was not, it wasn't an honorific.
I feel
He
like it would have to be
hated
a YouTube reference.
it. Really wasn't. It was something very simple.
Oh, being called by my old man's name.
No. Being called Ben? No.
No, being called Benny.
No, not Benny. I never called you that.
That shit annoys
I mean,
me.
I would just say this. It's just kind of like that. I now pronounce you. Now I want to say Ben and Larry, but Chuck and Larry. It was King. I used to call you King.
Oh yeah.
And you got kind of mad, and you were like, "I don't want to be called King."
Yeah,
you said, "I'm not
I
a
don't like
king."
being called king. It makes me sound pretentious, like I'm an asshole or something. It's like,
right. And when I first called you that, you did not like it. And I remember this was probably on like a Twitch stream. It was so long ago, but I remember Krusty. This was at a point in time when you hated me. You didn't want anything to do with me. And you were kind of like scared of me and talking about like nightmares you would have of me or something. And Krusty, as a joke, said, all of a sudden you'll wake up one day and you'll just hear, a king, and you were kind of like laughing and you were saying that this would be so scary. But people call you king now, and when I started calling you king, you hated that. That was like you absolutely were not into that at all.
That is correct.
Do you agree? Right. And now people call Casket King all the time and he doesn't care. Rock Sensation says, who is the Iron Man of the Casket verse? Who is Thanos? I've said before, I've never seen any movie of the MCU. Casket or Jeff, do you know what these references are? I frankly don't know. Thanos is obviously Thanatos, which is the Greek word for death. Of course, I would know, right? But I frankly don't know what those roles are in the MCU or the Casket verse. Casket, do you have any idea?
Historian, I just want you to know that you're fucking amazing.
Why? Why do you say that?
It's just you got all that from that name when it's just some big purple dude with a glove.
Yeah, I don't know actually. I do know the word Thanatos. I remember seeing, and I have never seen that video. I mean that video. And now I have to use more pretentious terms. I've never seen that film. But I do remember seeing like he gets like a glove with stones in it. I swear to God, I've never seen that movie at all. I don't know what it's about. Thanatos is obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously, it's the Greek word for death. I assume Thanos is like supposed to be some sort of metaphor for death, but I have not seen it. I've obviously heard of Iron Man, but I don't know what role he plays.
Iron
Ask it
Man's
to
like
you.
a tech entrepreneur or superhero that saves
Right.
everybody.
And actually, I'm going to give a little bit. I shouldn't even say this. I remember that his name is, I think his original last name is Stark, right?
Right.
Tony Stark. Yeah.
I believe, I shouldn't even say it because it's not my last name, so I don't really care. But I do have an ancestor with the name Stark. So I do remember that because I remember there used to be these like Dr. Pepper cans. This is a billion years ago at this point, but they had the name like Tony Stark on it. And I would look at them and I thought, oh, that's, so cool. The Stark name is getting out. But I mean, that would be so hard to find me off of that. But Iron Man, I have a little bit of a hot spot. Is he obviously is a good guy? Is he like the main? Is he the big guy? Is he the number one good guy against Thanos?
He's
That,
like
that
one of
question's for
them.
Casket because I don't know the MC
Right.
universe.
Right. I
Neither
want
do
to hear.
I'm a DC guy.
We went from 12 to 7. That's too bad. I was excited when we got 12. I was thinking, wow.
Here's a
But
great question from Jiggle Jess, historian. How warm is too
no.
warm for gazpacho?
To me, I don't even actually know what gazpacho is. When I hear that name, what
It
do
is
I think
tomato
of?
soup served ice cold.
Oh, I didn't even know that. But what do I think of when I hear that name? Can you think of the I won't even say, I'll just say piece of media that I know that name from. Most of the characters were named
Oh,
after
I know what show you're talking about.
what am I thinking of?
Chowder.
Chowder, right, exactly. Isn't Gazpacho like the big gray guy?
No, I thought he was the big woolly elephant.
Oh, that's probably true. What's the Rada? Is his name just Rada, the gray guy?
No, his name was Schnitzel.
Yeah, Schnitzel, but he just says Rada. And then there is, I totally forgot that elephant is named Gazpacho. What's the name of that woman who's like pink and she's like the enemy? Remember, she's like, I don't even remember what Chowder's master's name is.
Mungdal.
Mungdal, okay. It's Mungdal's kind of like arch enemy. And what is
Oh, the
her
orange
name?
woman. What was her name? I can't remember. But we got something here from the Pirates of the Penguins.
Yeah, what is that?
Cassie, you should do a shout out to Spinal Palm and Jet Neptune. They just mentioned you on the live stream. Shout out to you guys. You guys are fucking awesome.
Do you know them?
No idea.
Yeah, you know Jet Neptune because he does all the Sam Hyde stuff. Like, what's that live show they do?
Fish
Where
Tank.
they're all Fish Tank. Yeah, Casket tried to get on Fish Tank. I think they were like considering him, but they didn't pick him.
Sort of. That's its own, conversation. I don't think Casket knew about Fish Tank, but people in the Casket verse certainly tried to get Casket on Fish Tank.
I did put out an admission video.
You did try to get on Fish Tank?
I did semi-try.
Yeah, I was actually, it's on live, I don't care, but I was certainly a person who was against Casket getting on Fish Tank for the same reason I was kind of against Krusty's whole trying to make Casket into a lol cow. I just don't think Casket should be a lol cow. Casket, can you read Jingle Jazz's recent comment?
Put him on Fish Tank now.
Yeah.
Are you still interested? Do you still want to go on Fish Tank?
Not really. Would be interesting.
Well, I think with Fish Tank, it's not like everyone hates everybody on the show. Like a lot of them people like a lot, and they even after the show they follow them and they get a big following.
That's true. I don't know, maybe I'd do it.
Yeah, I certainly don't want to stop Casket from anything. If he wants to be on Fish Tank, he can be on Fish Tank. Okay, we've got Jingle Josh Fish Tank is crazy. Baba Booey fan number 1 says Baba Booey. Jingle Josh number 1 hater says Bert. I assume this is Butt, or maybe it's Bert. I don't know. I don't watch that show, but Bert this year was wild. I don't know.
I was probably referring to the season's Fish Tank. This year was wild.
Is there somebody called Bert? Do you watch Fish Tank, Jeffrey?
I saw some of the first season. I can't watch the whole thing because it's so long.
I think the Fish Tank here is just Casket on live stream all the time. He's in his own Fish Tank. What's the idea of Fish Tank? I would assume just from the name that you're always being looked in on. Casket obviously had those old 24-hour live streams, which I was actually thinking, Jeff, you know the name, I would assume. You probably didn't hear it, but when this stream started, the very first thing, and it wasn't this stream, but the last one, I said, Casket, do you know, I call it Druid Sandstorm, but I guess it's Darude Sandstorm.
Yeah.
Right, you know that song, obviously. Casket doesn't know that song, and he's never heard it before.
That's wild.
I was actually... I know. And I said, Cass, if you heard it, you would know this song. There's not a possibility in the world you don't know it. I was actually thinking of a 24-hour challenge that Casket could do in which he listens to Sandstorm for 24 hours straight on live.
Oh, God.
But I don't know that Casket's interested in those 24-hour videos anymore. Are you, Casket? Is it a possibility?
There's a chance that the multiple day stream videos could come back.
It doesn't even have to be multiple days because it used to be kind of like a 7-day live stream, but I think that never even actually happened, right? It just kind of sizzled out, or you had to stop.
Yeah, usually the power would go out or something would happen.
Yeah, something would happen. But even 24 hours of just Sandstorm playing in the background, I think that might be good. Jingle Jeff says they didn't know they were live this year, and Bert was caught blank like 12 times before he knew it was live. Pirates of the Pancreas. I guess this is a Pirates of the Caribbean parody account. Says, Casket, what is your favorite old YouTube video? What a great question, Casket.
I remember the early days. I didn't even have an account. I just watched videos. Nothing was age restricted. There were music videos. There was all sorts of shit on YouTube. I could watch a movie. I could watch anime dubbed, subtitled on YouTube. Usually each episode was like in 2 or 3 parts because you can only upload up to 10 minutes.
I do remember asking you, like, what would you watch in those early days of YouTube? And the only thing I can remember you saying is that you would watch anime videos that were dubbed into English. Right, Casket?
Yeah.
Like, that was your main thing at that point. What if I show you? I'm going to send you an old YouTube video that's very old. And I wonder if you've ever seen this. I don't think you would get, maybe this is, I don't know. This is from an old site called Boom Chicago that I wasn't even familiar with. I'm going to send it to you, Casket, and this might be, problematic. Maybe you don't want to show this. I don't know. But this was one of the very earliest YouTube videos I had ever seen in my life. I'm going to send you another one. I wonder if you've seen this. Have you ever seen that video, Casket?
Hold on, let me stop sharing. Oh, God, I do remember this video. It might be a little problematic. Yeah, that's true.
Tell me when you're resharing.
All right, we're back, y'all. Woo!
Well, I guess you heard, but Casket said no, we can't share it because it's problematic. It was. It did have kind of, I'm trying to find another video that isn't problematic, but now I can't find it. Let me look. Yeah, can you think of a very early YouTube video that you saw?
I know the earliest one was probably an "Are You Afraid of the Dark" spoof, and it came out like 17 years ago.
Wow. What was this video?
I can send it. It's probably not copyright restricted. It's actually 19 years old.
On YouTube, it's 19 years old.
Yeah, it was one of the first YouTube videos I ever saw.
Man, that's old.
Casket, I'm gonna send it to you. You've probably seen it before.
All right.
But you could probably play this on stream. I don't think it would get copyrighted.
All right, hold on.
So she totally just got on her knees, completely dressed like a policewoman.
I liked it when she dressed up as the prom queen.
Yeah, her best friend came in, they totally started making out.
That's so gross. I love it.
She busted out the strap-on and put it on. It was so hot.
Come on, it's not that hot.
She wore a strap-on. It was so hot.
How can you say that?
How could she?
Man, I really want to find it's a like a
Yeah,
parody.
It wasn't that bad.
If
The whole
pop
same
up,
sex thing. I mean, come on. Ever
I'm
been curious?
thinking of.
Are you sick?
Come on, Frank. Want to make out?
Yo,
Oh,
I don't want your germs.
I can also
Come
think
on.
of kind of like
My
a
friend did it.
like a George George W. Bush video that I remember seeing very early
I'm
on
not sure we.
in YouTube. Oh, wow. Okay, I found it. He's 17 years old, so it doesn't really
I love it.
match up with 19 years old. That's kind of crazy.
Casket,
I'm
what'd
gonna
you think
send
of
you
the
this
video?
as well.
Oh, that
This
was
is
a great video.
you. Can you watch it online?
You know what? I'm gonna go to my playlist and I'm gonna go to my favorites. Favorites one, and I'm gonna sort it by oldest and see what pops up. Sort
Jingle
by.
Jess in the chat says, Jingle Jess in the chat says, historian, how are you on your theology? I hate theology. Because what do you focus your studies? I don't know, but I'm past that point. I'm not like Krusty. I don't study anymore. Exactly. And then Jingle Jess says, LMO, what is this? Like a casket.
Alright, so the first video I
Laugh.
ever favorited was of snippet from a Raggedy Ann and Andy, a musical adventure.
Oh, that's what you actually told me was your favorite obscure movie. But okay, could you play that, Casket?
I really don't want to.
Yeah, Casket said that this was his favorite obscure movie of all time, Raggedy Ann and Andy musical adventure. Can they hear us at this point? I don't
Yeah, they
even
can hear
know.
you.
Yeah, they can.
Okay. Goody.
Historian, have you seen Grizzly Man, the documentary?
Yeah, in fact, we've talked about this before, and I said that I didn't really like Grizzly Man, and that's why I was turned off to Werner Herzog. But there was one moment in Grizzly Man that I really liked, but it's a dumb moment. It's what do you think I would say? Because obviously you've seen
Is it
Grizzly
the
Man. What
part
would
where
you
he gets
say?
eaten by the
What would you
bear?
assume?
It's
No, because
it's been a while since I've seen it, so I probably couldn't pick out like a specific scene. I know it was questionable when he like had the audio tapes of him and he didn't play it, but he just like showed film of someone listening to the tapes or something.
right, and I understand why he did that. That wasn't the one point, and I did not like Grizzly Man at all. In fact, somebody in my life kept telling me watch Grizzly Man, and I was like, oh, I don't know that I'm gonna like it. But I watched it. Maybe I went into the wrong. Maybe I was too sour. But I watched it. The only thing I liked, I won't even use the word. I know it ruffles feathers, but Werner Herzog is interviewing somebody, or maybe he's just talking about interviewing somebody, but he says that like he had interviewed someone who had met Grizzly Man before all this had happened, and they had said the only reason that the bears don't kill him is because they think he's an idiot. Basically, they use a different word. But I thought it was just so mean of the person who said it, and just like so harsh that it was
Yeah,
kind of funny to me.
and probably not even accurate. Like,
And wasn't accurate, right? It was prejudice. I mean, it was just this person being extremely prejudiced. But I thought that was kind of funny. But I don't know. That's kind of the only Werner Herzog movie I've ever seen.
on the flip side, though, I know most filmmakers, if they're talking about somebody's death, they would only include clips of people giving like extreme, enormous amounts of praise to them. So it's kind of like ballsy of Herzog to paint him kind of like a lunatic because he was.
I was just not that interested. Have you ever seen? I think I've talked about this a long time ago in a private call, but have you ever seen, which would be a beautiful movie for Casket to watch, to add to your list, the movie Strong Man about stainless steel, the strongest man in the world of bending steel? You ever seen that? It's documentary.
No, Cascade, have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Oh, Casket has not seen it, but certainly Strong Man is one of my favorite documentaries. I mentioned it recently because I know a lot of people were saying, oh, or at least people in the cast were saying, we need to watch more documentaries. If you want any more documentaries, the number one should be Strongman, because that's just, there's not another documentary like it. I think it's very, very funny, although it's also very kind of It pulls at the heartstrings a bit. The next one I would say is, have you ever seen the movie I Think We're Alone Now? It's on YouTube. You can see the whole thing on YouTube, so I don't think there will be any problem. But I Think We're Alone Now.
No, I
Haven't
don't
seen
think
that
I've seen
one.
it.
What's that one about?
That one is about stalkers who were obsessed with a 80s one-hit wonder singer called Tiffany. And it
Ooh,
is
I want to watch that.
it's a very unique documentary. There's nothing like it. Casket, I don't know. It's hard because I don't know what Casket will respond to. Even with the Toy Story video, I thought, okay, it's 20 minutes, but most of the time I thought this is Casket's favorite movie. Not really. I guess Twister's his favorite, but this is a movie that Casket's probably watched more than anything. And I thought he might have a little more to say on it than he did say. But I don't know. It's
Yeah.
what happened with Casket in the latest video that you watched, or the latest movie.
Oh yes, we watched Resident Evil. He said even less, but I might be able to get like a 10-minute video out of it.
Yeah, I know. It's tough with Casket. He does not say a lot. Especially with a movie, I feel like that would be very hard.
Yeah. Um, we're working on it. That was the first
Single
episode.
the first episode was probably the best because he was so interested, and then it'll kind of go downhill because he's less and less interested. And then you were saying like, oh, we should do more kind of like smart movies, but I think no, because then Casket will probably just be not interested. Eagle Jess
Well,
says, historian, do you have anything published? I won't say anything there, but things are in the work, Eagle Jess. That's both showing. I'm not talking about my dingus Casket spit. But yeah, please, I'm sorry, go on.
yeah. Yeah, I think Resident Evil was a bad pick because I couldn't even say anything interesting about the movie. It was so boring. It was just the
Did
same
Casket
scene
choose
over and
it?
over. Yeah, he did.
Do you have on your list? Casket once told me that his favorite movie of all time was Metalocalypse movie #2. Do you have that on your list?
I didn't put it on our movie list, but
Oh, I
should add
think
it.
because Casket said that was his. I think it'll be a bad movie. No offense to Casket, but he did one time tell me that it was his favorite movie. So I don't know. There might be something there in terms of Casket being responsive, but it's tough. I was actually shocked, and I've changed the subject here, but I'll go right back. Your Jingle Jess is a PhD in civil engineering. Jingle Jess, I think you now rank highest in terms of prestige in the Casket verse. Casket, one time you said something about that. You said, like, a lot of people are attracted to you who, I don't know exactly how you put it. Maybe you said, like, have a lot of education. Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Jingle Jess says, LOL, I'm in the Casket verse. Yes, you are, I would say now. I think everybody who comments has a place in the Casket verse. Would you not say Casket?
Yeah, you've definitely commented a lot. You've donated a lot. Like, you've definitely left a mark on the Casket verse.
I agree. He exists in the Casket verse. Jeffrey, say more. I do have some eventually when we're running out of steam. I can go to Casket history facts, but you say more about anything, about movies or whatever.
About anything. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of want to keep doing these Casket Rewind episodes. I know it's a little bit tricky because Casket doesn't comment too much on the movies, but I think we can work on it. Like I think the Toy Story video was good, but of course he had like a lot of behind the scenes knowledge of the movie. But he has to be able to react to movies he hasn't seen before and kind of break
Toy
them
Story,
down.
yeah, Toy Story 1 was very good, but and he did have a lot of back, just like things that, you know,
Jingle Jess says, I love you,
sort of
Casket and the Kings.
Oh, for $2 too. But he did have a lot of trivia kind of related to Toy Story. But what I wish was a little longer was that he could maybe give more information about his history with Toy Story. He did talk about the, getting the VHS from his aunt and stuff. And maybe he could say, like, why is this so important to me outside of nostalgia? Maybe there's that the movie
Yeah.
connects with him in some way outside of just nostalgia. Like he could say, here's, but it's
Well,
not, it's not
okay.
a
The
gen-
thing
I
is,
mean,
the reason why it connected with me so much is because as a child I moved around a lot, so I didn't have any friends, and I got very attached to my toys.
right. You said that. What do you think? And I don't have anything in my mind, but what do you think kind of the message of Toy Story is?
Just like the first one,
Yeah, let's just go with the first one.
Yeah.
that change is okay.
That's interesting. You know what I thought was really interesting that never came up in the Toy Story video was the haunted doll. And you were kind of talking about your own toys, but don't you think to some extent with the haunted doll that you were kind of trying to create a toy that had its own animus or that was animated in some
No,
way and
no,
you
no,
kind of
no,
were
no. You
you think they weren't
misunderstand the
related?
haunted doll. There's no way in hell ever the doll's gonna go stand up and start walking around. That's never gonna happen.
Hmm.
The, it
What?
might
Okay,
it might rock or move a little bit if it becomes haunted, but there's no way in hell that it's gonna start doing things.
oh, come on. Haunted things have done a lot more than rock and move around, though, right? Can't you expect more than that, Casket?
Well, I don't know. Like, how do these things happen? Like, you know what I mean?
It just seemed interesting to me that there was kind of like a toy-like figure that you said, I'm going to try to
Like I
put a
said, I
spirit
got
into
really
this.
attached to my toys, and I wanted nothing more than a toy that could play back.
But then you say, no, it has nothing to do with the haunted doll.
That's why when I
Like,
got into
don't you?
Pokemon the video games, I got really heavily invested in them, like they were my pets.
Right. Yeah. Maybe they didn't have anything to do with the one another, but I think it's interesting. The Casket is kind of, hate to use the word, but obsessed with Toy Story. And then he really worked hard to create a haunted doll. I think there might be some connection there, but Casket says no, so maybe no. I don't know.
This is why you would be good on the Casket Rewind episodes, Historian, because you ask him good questions.
Yeah, but then Casket says, no way, Jose.
Nah, dude, you could totally be on an episode.
No, he
Yeah.
doesn't say no way, Jose, to me being on the episode. That's for sure. But that's the only insight that I would give there. Casket, what about? I think we've talked about this before, and I've said my favorite Toy Story is Toy Story 2. What do you think about that?
Not a bad option. Solid movie.
What do you think about that movie, like compared to Toy Story 1?
I think it's overall a better movie.
Right. I agree. Why? Why do you say that?
I know they just really build on the world, and they make the animation had gotten better. And if you look at the dog from the second movie, from the first movie, it's like night and day almost.
Yeah, that was a topic that came up in that video, obviously. And the question was kind of more like, can we deal with this animation being so bad? But don't you feel like that's the whole charm? Obviously, you're so into nostalgia, but don't you think like that's the whole charm? Like when you look back at Toy Story 1, do you really say that this is a fault? Or don't you think like this is this makes it better in its own way, and it could only happen at this time. And now there's prejudice against making a movie with this sort of
I can only wait to see
animation
the day when
style.
they make a live action remake of the first movie.
Right. And that's the opposite of what I was going to say, but that's Casket King. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. I think I'll have nothing to say about this next video because I know nothing about the game or the movies. What's on the hot seat? Like, what movie do we think is going to come next in terms of Casket watching it?
I suggested Captain Ron to him. He hadn't seen it before. It's just kind of a fun 90s family
Oh,
movie.
I haven't seen that movie before.
Yeah, Martin Short at his best. Probably not at his
Oh,
best. probably at his
wow.
worst, but
I
we have a
know
long
Martin
list.
Short, but I don't know that movie. Yeah, you do certainly have a long list.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the original Willy Wonka movie.
Oh, yeah.
He suggested The Adventures of Pluto Nash.
I don't know that one.
Like the worst
I
movie ever
suggested
made.
Galaxy Quest. Yeah. I
seen
suggested
a lot
Earth
of
Girls
those
Are Easy. Speed. He's never seen Speed. I was
No,
surprised
I've
by
seen
that.
Speed.
I've never seen Speed.
Oh, you have? Okay. So Quentin Tarantino says it's the best thriller movie of all time.
What year is Speed?
Would have been 90. Let me get the exact year.
Wow. I've never heard of this.
94.
Although I hate to be the guy, but I'm not a huge Quentin Tarantino. But
Neither am I.
Hello?
who do we have?
Yeah,
Emmett Gill. How should we pronounce your name?
I can't hear anything. I can. Hello?
How should we pronounce your name? Emmett Gooley.
MGUI.
MGUI, what's
MGUI.
up?
Yes. Bro, chill.
Man, Speed with Keanu Reeves, Dennis Hopper, and
Jeff Daniels is in it.
Jeff Daniels, that's who I was trying to think of.
Sandra
Never seen
Bullock.
that movie.
It's a fun thriller. It's a little bit over the top, but
Wow, I don't even really know. I've heard of Sandra Bullock a billion times, but I can't imagine.
I will say
The
Keanu Reeves
Blind
does
Side.
terrible acting in it.
Did you ever watch? And I assume no, but did you ever watch that Keanu Reeves Dennis Hopper movie, The River's Edge?
Oh, I got it, but I haven't watched it yet. I got
That
a few
is
movies that
great.
you recommended.
Yeah, in fact, after those recommendations, I was thinking, you know what? I think he's not gonna like Pennies from Heaven, and as soon as you start watching it, I think you're gonna know exactly why. Oh, we've lost IMGN. I
You know
forget
what?
what his name
I
is.
think I have a movie picked out for this week's Wednesday movie marathon. Yeah.
What is it?
Have you ever heard of the documentary Demon House?
Is this a found footage movie?
Yeah, it kind of is.
Dude, we
I've
might
not
have
heard of
watched
it.
this already. I don't know.
It's got Zach Bagans in it.
You made me watch one of these found footage movies.
Yeah, we watched Blair Witch at one point.
No, it was a different one.
Oh, this might have been it then.
Man, we lost
All right, then I'll have to pick a different movie.
IMGUN.
I figured we would
No,
do
we only got
historian suggestion. I think we're alone now.
Oh, if you can get Strongman, that's an even better movie. But I don't know if Casket would vibe with that. I don't think Casket. I can't think of anything that I've ever showed to Casket that he's actually vibed with. Like,
Yeah.
and maybe the best bet is to get something that he vibes with. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, we're very.
It's hard to
different
know what-
people. You're
Yeah.
You're what I would call an old soul.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
you love
Although
all
I
this
think
stuff from like the 20s and the
I
40s and the
feel like that when you
60s.
watch Strongman.
And me, I'm
But
like
I
80s to now.
but I've given you
Where
movies
you
from
are.
like the 90s and 2000s. I gave him Vegas Vacation. He watched it for like 10 minutes. He's like, "Yeah, this movie's not for me." So he turned it off. I showed him
Have you
Hackers.
ever
I think
seen?
he got 12 minutes into that one. And he was like, "Yeah, this isn't for me."
I know. I can't remember what we were watching, but we got very little into it, and Casca was like, "No, this is basically the same thing. This is not for me." Casca, have you ever seen the original National Lampoon's Vacation?
I would have had to at some point.
Wow, you know, we must. I totally forgot about this, but we have to say this being today. Have you ever seen Groundhog's Day?
Oh, yes, many times.
Amazing movie.
What do you think of that movie?
Great movie. Great movie to sit back and watch over and over and
Mm,
over.
Man, wow, that's a funny joke by you, Casket. This would have been the perfect day to watch it with Jeff. This should have been number one on the list, February 2nd. We got to watch Groundhog's Day. Did you hear, Casket, what the groundhog said this morning at Gobbler's Knob?
Frank
Gobbler's
Ovaltine.
Knob.
I think that's the place the groundhog lives at, right?
Gobbler's Knob.
Gobbler's Knob. Maybe it's something else, but it's close to that. I don't know. Did you hear? Don't look it up, Casket. What do you think? Did he see his shadow? Are we going to have 6 more weeks of winter?
I'm going to say he did.
Or he did. He saw his shadow. We're going to have 6 more weeks of winter.
Oh, no.
What is the groundhog's name, Casket? Do you remember?
I have no idea.
Oh, come on.
Hobgoblin.
Not
The
hobgobbler or
Hobgoblin?
knobgobbler. No. Let me give you a hint. It starts with P.
Prince.
Not Prince. He has
Peter.
passed away. You love Groundhog's Day and you don't even know this name. How is this possible? It's so popular
pretty
in
big.
Groundhog's Day. In fact, Bill Murray's character, I believe, is named the exact same first name as the groundhog.
Oh, Phil?
Bill. Okay, good. Phil. The groundhog's name is Phil, but it's another name that starts with P, and it's the town in in Pennsylvania, where the Groundhog Day happens. So it's town name plus Phil. What is the name?
Philadelphia.
No, of course not. It's an obscure
Phillipsburg?
town.
I don't know.
No way, Jose.
I'm not American. I don't know these towns. Casket should know more than I can.
You would only kind of know it through being a Groundhog fan, I think. Casket, I'll give you one chance. What do you think it is? It is Phil something. And in fact, the name is first. It's the town name and then it's Phil.
Oh, okay. That changes it then.
I have no
It's
idea.
something Phil. What do you think, Jeff? Not looking at your computer. Oh, we've got Alice in the chat.
All right, baby. I'll see
Alice
you
says
then.
she will be here in 2 hours. Yeah, I will not be here in 2 hours, but Alice says she'll be here in 2 hours.
The last
We
time I saw
love you.
Groundhog's Day was probably 10 years ago, though, so I don't know if I could remember the town.
What if I start with punks? It's punks something Phil. Man, the groundhog
Yeah.
doesn't get enough respect anymore. He used to get freaking respect.
Yeah, fuck the groundhog.
joke.
Let's shit on it. Mm.
That's what people say. They don't care anymore.
Grab the
Think you're a piece of
groundhog.
shit.
Let's fuck
Let's
it.
shit on
Mm.
His name, have you ever heard this name before? Punxsutawney Phil.
No, I've never heard that
Oh,
name.
Punxsutawney Phil? That's not a real town.
Punxsutawney Phil from Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, and he lives in Gobbler's Knob Casket, I think is the correct title
You're
for his
making
little
this up.
house.
Gobbler's Knob is not a real place.
I wish I were.
Wait, Punxsutawney is a real town in Pennsylvania?
Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania.
Is that where the movie was filmed?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, here's a trivia question. Who was the director?
Oh, of Groundhog Day? That was Harold Ramis.
Right. I always call it Groundhog's Day too, but yeah, it's Groundhog Day, which I think is dumb because it's the Groundhog's Day. From Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, Punxsutawney Phil, man. How is this not
I never saw
common?
much from the main woman in the movie, Andy McDowell.
Fishing
I remember-
this. It's a
She was in
dumb
Groundhog
kind of.
Day. She was in Sex, Lies, and Videotape. What else was she
I
in?
didn't see that. I think it's dumb that they even have a romance there. I think they don't need it. Whenever I see a romance in a movie that doesn't need it, I just think, ugh. Okay, good. Bill Murray's brother plays the guy who's kind of like, he's in the official people who take the groundhogs out. Casket, I think you're going to know this, Jeff. Maybe you won't, but Casket, what does Bill Murray's brother play? It's a cartoon character he does the voice for.
Well, I know he's in Wayne's World. He's in Caddyshack.
Okay, good, but don't say it's a cartoon. If you know it, don't say it. But I guarantee Casket knows this cartoon, and he probably loves it. It's Bill Murray's brother as one of the main characters.
Oh, I know it. I know it.
I can't think.
What do you think it is, Casket? Try to think of it.
It would be somewhere in your top 10 favorite cartoons.
Good. Casket loves this cartoon for sure.
Oh man. I really don't know.
What can I give you one hint? Man, I want to give a really obscure hint because I don't want to give it to you. It's so hard to give a hint here that won't give it to you. I'll just say this: he doesn't like a barber.
Elmer Fudd?
Not Elmer Fudd. That's a good one because he's bald. Think something you really like. You love this cartoon, Casket.
He wouldn't like a barber.
It's an obscure kind of hint, but if I gave you anything better, you would just guess it right away.
Courage?
Not Courage. That's a good guess, but no. I mean, we're trying to think of Bill Murray's brother. He's going to have a voice that kind of sounds like Bill Murray, which is not exactly Courage.
It doesn't really sound like Bill Murray, though. He has a really raspy.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't he do
Okay,
Garfield?
okay. I'll give you this hint. He was in. Bill Murray did, but this character was in Caddyshack, and I think Jeff said that you've seen Caddyshack. He was an actor in Caddyshack. Later, he played the voice of one of your, a character in one of your favorite cartoons. I'll even just throw it. I think he was like the manager in Caddyshack. I can't remember what his role was, but he's one of the. Right, he's one
He
of
was
the.
I
also
can't think of it.
the manager in Wayne's World.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Noah Vanderhoff.
Man, you can't think Casket. Just guess. I'm going to say this must be it's certainly top 10. I would even almost assume top 5. Favorite cartoons. It's not Adventure Time. What could it be? I'll say this. I've mentioned it recently in a stream or in chat with you at least.
I can't remember, man.
Man, what if I said his first name is Captain?
Crunch.
Not Captain Crunch.
Captain Knuckles.
Captain Knuckles from Flapjack is Bill Murray's brother. Can you believe that, Casket?
That.
And he plays not a major role, but he plays a part in Groundhog's Day, starring Bill Murray.
Oh.
I thought you were gonna say SpongeBob.
No, what does he play in SpongeBob? Was Mr.
The
Krabs?
Flying Dutchman.
Does he?
Oh yeah, he does.
He plays a Flying Dutchman in SpongeBob?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
What? I assumed that was Tom Kenny. What? No way. That has to be effing Tom Kenny.
Let me just type in Brian Doyle McMurray SpongeBob voice.
It
No.
is. What the F?
Yeah.
I never knew that. Wow. That's crazy. Brian Doyle Murray. So strange that he's Doyle Murray and Bill is just Bill Murray. What the heck? He's the freaking Flying Dutchman. I assumed he was Tom Kenny. What the F, Casket? This is like Inception, which I've never seen. Brian Murray, better known by his stage name Brian Doyle Murray. What? Why would he add the Doyle?
Did he want to
Groundhog
separate
Day.
himself from his brother?
He must have. if
I'll
he's
be
gonna
right
add the
back.
Doyle.
I have to go do something.
What?
Look, Casket has to go pee at least every 2 hours or so. Okay.
Okay, this is
good. It means he's drinking more water.
I will
That's
be
good.
back.
yeah, that's good because he's not drinking that alcohol that comes out of a bag.
Oh my god, that was ridiculous.
In that margarita.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's tough. We only got 4 viewers, and now I'm just thinking of Brian Doyle Murray. Jeff, who would you say is your favorite character / actor? Or I'll just say this: who's your favorite person who acted in the movie Caddyshack? And I have a definitive answer here.
I'm gonna say straight off the bat, I don't like Caddyshack, but if we're
I'm
Rodney
gonna be
Dangerfield, I mean, I
was
don't know if I
gonna say
like him
Rodney
in
Dangerfield.
yeah, I don't know if I like him in
Completely.
movies, but I like his stand-up. I
I
don't know if
do
he
love.
played a good character in a movie.
I love Rodney Dangerfield too much to have any negative thing to say about him. But goodness, I'll just be Casket here. Maybe this is a crap movie, but it's just such a classic movie that I saw so young that I have to love Caddyshack. And it's got, of all people, Rodney Dangerfield, who I think is just we've never experienced a comedian in the ranks of Rodney Dangerfield. Can you think of a Rodney Dangerfield joke? Well, Casket is apparently going pee-pee.
Oh man.
And he's
I
the
would,
king. We've got 1 viewer as well in the
Yeah.
YouTube chat. They're
Rodney
not
Dangerfield
Rodney
joke.
Dangerfield fans. What does Rodney Dangerfield say when he comes out? What's his kind of line?
This
Oh,
is the
Jim
only
Justice
Rodney
is
Dan-
one viewer.
This is the only Rodney Dangerfield joke I remember, but he says something about like, they say me and my wife have so much in common. He says, "Are you kidding me? I don't like sucking dick," or something like that.
No, come on. This is no way. Rodney Dangerfield wouldn't say that on a freaking movie. He wouldn't say that on video. You
No,
must
not
have
a
seen
movie.
Rodney Dangerfield in person to hear that kind of a joke.
Yeah, that's a
so
stand-up
blue.
joke of his.
I know it is a stand-up, but even then, in his kind of like stand-up specials, he doesn't go that blue. What about this? Here's another Rodney Dangerfield. When he comes out, he says, "Hey, I'm all right now, but last week I was in rough shape." okay, right? He says
That was
that, and then
good.
he comes out, and then he says something like, I was in rough shape. I went to the bar, and I said to the bartender, "Surprise me." He showed me a naked picture of my wife. Right, all right, blah blah blah. Ronnie Dangerfield, the effing man.
You
He
know
should
way
be
more than
in.
I do. So he
He should.
killed it on the Carson show because with Carson he would have people do stand up, and then if he actually liked the stand up, then he would invite him to the
Right.
couch, and they would do like a sit down interview for 5 or 10 minutes. So he invited Dangerfield to the couch after he like killed on his set.
Have you ever seen? I'm thinking now, and I could say a lot about Carson, but I'm thinking now of a very famous movie that was. They almost showed a Carson spinoff, right? Featuring a very, very famous comedian.
I don't
What would
know.
this movie be?
Carson was before
I
my time.
I think you've seen this movie though. I would be shocked if you hadn't.
I don't know.
Let's think. I'm gonna say the Carson role was played by Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lewis,
You know Jerry Lewis?
like the original Nutty Professor.
The original Nutty Professor, although a lot of other things, but I really assume you've seen this movie. I
King of
think you like
Comedy?
this director more than right, the King of Comedy, where he plays kind of he plays the well, Jerry Lewis plays the King of Late Night kind of role, and then Robert De Niro plays the guy trying to get on, right?
Yeah.
And it's weird because Jerry Lewis is named Jerry in it. So I wonder, was this made just for him? I guess I can't ask you this question. I was going to ask you a really obscure question, which is obviously in the original Late Night. What is the host's name? Is he says, "Here's Johnny," that gets put into The Shining. But what is his dingus name? Who says, "Here's Johnny"? I know we're now talking about things that are a billion years old. Johnny Carson's co-host is named. Let me look up on AI.
Ed McMahon.
Ed McMahon, right? Who's the Ed McMahon on The King of Comedy? I can think of exactly what he says. It's not popular at all to modern audiences.
Ed Hurley.
Ed Hurley, he says first. The camera goes to him and he says, "Little old me, Ed Hurley," and then he says, "Here's like Jerry," and he does the Jerry Lewis
I'm back.
role. Jerry Lewis is obviously a monster in this role, which I think he was built for this role. Do you know anything about Jerry Lewis's personal life?
No, I don't. Humor.
Jerry Lewis was about the meanest man who ever lived. He was an awful human being. He had a illegitimate daughter who he allowed to be homeless while he was, basking it up and wherever he was, Bel Air. He had a child who was a musician. Do you know the musician that was Jerry Lewis's child's name? Is very close to Jerry Lewis. He sang a song called "This Diamond Ring."
Gary Lewis.
Gary Lewis, right. And Gary Lewis later said, just like Jerry Lewis was a monster at home, he was an extremely abusive person, and blah, blah, blah. But Jerry Lewis lived to be like freaking 90 years old, 95 probably, in total luxury. We've got one viewer, so they don't like the Jerry Lewis talk. But
You
that's what you
focus
get.
too much on the viewership count. I also don't think it's exactly live. It sort of fluctuates. It's not really.
Jingle Jess, I hope, is still here. Alice has probably left. She said, "Hey, be here in 2 hours, but I can't do this. But yeah, I think Jerry Lewis and for my vote for worst star who ever got famous and got
Yeah.
all the respect and money in the world is Jerry Lewis. Jeffrey, who do you say is the worst star in your opinion? Whoever got all the wealth and fame in the world, but they didn't deserve it.
Ooh. I don't know.
Well,
I hear
sounds like
people say
Casket.
Chevy Chase is a jerk, but I don't know if he's
Yeah,
done anything like
that's a
actually
good.
heinous. More just like
That's it.
I know people
That's a good
who,
one.
when he comes on to interviews and the people behind the scenes are like setting up the interview, like he's very cold and standoffish. He just doesn't want to talk to anyone who's beneath him.
Right. I've heard that too, and I wasn't even thinking of that, and that was a good one. Casket, it sounds like you're opening something
Yeah,
with
I was
plastic
with some
around it.
cheese.
Who do you think is the worst? Okay, I'm sorry. While you're trying to think of the worst person, Shingle Jess says, "I have no idea who Jerry Lewis is." And then he says, "I'm gonna smoke some green crack though. Maybe Jerry will show himself in the next hit." Then he says, Chevy says the N word. I think I had heard that with.
I've also heard that accusation.
With Chevy on Community. Was that the show? It's like a modern show.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but I heard that he was like the worst he's ever been on the set of that. And I heard he was like racist to the main character. And it was just like, you're so out of, nobody knows you. Even first off, it's not 1960 in which you could be racist and, anybody's going to allow that anymore, which you shouldn't have in the first place. But it's like, how could Chevy Chase be so just like such an asshole to go on to like Community or whatever show he was on and just start?
Yeah, he should be lucky to be on that show at his age.
He should, because he was nobody. Why was he even popular in the first place? When he went on to Saturday Night Live, his whole thing was, "I'm Chevy Chase and you're not." And it was like, well, Chevy Chase, what's your thing besides being you got on to Saturday Night Live and you got to be on National Lampoon's Vacation? It's like you're nothing special. Why would you let this idiotic spit get to your head? But yeah, Chevy Chase, I'm sure I will applaud when he dies because he does just seem like a shit.
He was in Dirty Work, actually, Chevy Chase.
Oh, I never saw that, but yeah.
The Norm Macdonald, Artie Lang movie.
Right.
So Chevy Chase went into the Stern Show for an interview, and as he goes into the show, Artie Lang shakes his hand, and Chevy says, "Nice to meet you." And he's like, "Oh, we've acted together before."
No way.
Like, really? What movie? I guess
No
Chevy Chase
way.
wasn't defined by his career on Dirty Work.
Decorum. Yeah, but I know that, but I've never seen Dirty Work. But yeah, I've heard
funny.
stories about that before of kind of people meeting Artie Lang and they say like, "Nice to meet you," and it's like, "Oh, we've met before," which is understandable because he was kind of nobody. But
At the time, yeah.
even today, and like never. Okay, he had a good job, but he was also not. He was never Chevy Chase level. Even he never had that. In my opinion, though.
Yeah.
But like, I think you have to be a fan of Stern to understand who Artie Lang is. But
Have you seen most of the Vacation movies?
I've only seen actually in full, in toto. I've only seen the first one, which I think is a great movie, the National Lampoon Vacation. The first one, great. I've seen a little bit. I mean, I've seen it on TV, so I can't say I've really seen it because I kind of just like started watching in the middle of it. Which I guess you and Casket watched, the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
No.
But
We didn't
all
watch
of
it,
those,
but,
of those movies past Vacation just seem like a cash grab to me.
This might be a hot take, but I think Christmas Vacation is the best of the vacation movies.
What's the name of the cousin? Like the
Randy Quaid,
Randy Quaid.
Cousin Eddie.
Yeah. Right.
He's like a staunch Republican Trump supporter now. And for the longest time, I didn't know if he was doing it as a bit.
Randy Quaid is. I thought you were talking about the character.
Oh, Randy Quaid is like a person. Yeah, it's like a big.
Yeah, I
Republican.
know. I know the actor, but I thought you meant like his character would have been.
No.
But no,
Oh, he probably would have
yeah.
been as well, but
Right, he probably would have been. But yeah, all I can think of is it the actually I'm thinking of Vegas Vacation where they go to like the buffet.
that's Vegas Vacation.
And Randy
yeah.
Quaid's like, "Don't get cheap on me," and he's asking to like give him a lot of food.
I actually
But-
like that one too, even though it's like not the best.
Hold on, everybody.
Yeah, it's who's knocking
Yeah.
at your door, Cass?
Hello?
Are we gonna see Casket Scoot? Oh no.
He's
He's just talking. Yeah. The only one I could really talk about is the first one. I've seen the other. I think I've seen Christmas and I've seen Vegas, but I not enough to really talk about them. You know what I hate, and I think we've talked about it, and I said I hate it. That people love, and I wonder if the two people in the casket comments have anything to say. A controversial opinion. I absolutely hate Home Alone.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. Well, first you have to tell me
Casket?
why.
Casket,
Casket
do you what do you think about Home Alone? Are you mad that I say I hate Home Alone?
I'm not mad. I can see why some people wouldn't like it.
Right.
But I personally do.
Uh-oh. I think you might have to take your puppy out. Jingle Jess is with me. He says Home Alone stank. This Home Alone sucks. I absolutely agree. I think that's the most overrated. In fact, I was shocked to hear it was by what's his name? It's the same, not Christopher Columbus, but the guy.
John Hughes wrote it.
John Hughes, right. I was actually shocked to hear it was a John Hughes movie because, okay, he's had bad movies, but I was like, man, this is such a crappy movie. I hate that movie so much. There's just.
But now you have to explain your reasoning.
I can't explain. I mean, it's just, to me, it's just crap. There's nothing good about it. I don't care about the plot. I think the whole thing's stupid. Okay. It's got Joe Pesci.
The premise is obviously absurd, but like as a comedy.
It's not that it's absurd. It's just I don't think it's good. And then they have a billion other Home Alone movies. But it's just, to me, I never, even when I was a kid, and I'm talking out of me being a kid, I would watch that movie and just think, like, this sucks so much. And people love that movie, I know, but it never attracted me whatsoever. And I never liked Macaulay Culkin in the least. But maybe that's just me being a Home Alone hater. But I do hate. There's no good reason why I hate it. I just think there's no good reason why anyone would like it. It's a crappy movie, in my opinion. That has nothing going for it. Especially after like the first 10 or 20 minutes. Like as soon as he gets home alone, to me, that movie is so crap. Maybe the first couple minutes. But then when it becomes a slapstick thing, I'm like, oh my God. And you know what? What's his name? Roger Ebert had said that he stupidly, I think he did like Home Alone 1. I think both Siskel and Ebert didn't like Home Alone 2. But then Home Alone 3, Siskel, very smartly, I can't even believe Ebert said this, but Siskel was like, this is the worst. And Ebert said, no, this is the best. And Siskel was like, better than Home Alone 1? And he was like, yeah, better than Home Alone 1. Yeah, Ebert said it was Home Alone 3 was better than Home Alone 1 because he said it empowers the child more in Home Alone 3 and blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't have so much slapstick and blah, blah, blah. But it was just all of those. And I think if John Hughes...
This is kind of why I like Chris Columbus as a director, because for kid actors or like their characters, they'll be sort of sort of dumb, a little bit bratty. They don't really know what they're supposed to do, but he still gives them heart. Like their moral compass is set in the right direction, even though they're a little bit ignorant of the world, and that's what makes the characters likable. And I don't know, when they say like when Ebert says the kids are empowered, like they're supposed to be a little bit ignorant at that age.
Yeah, I think Ebert's dumb there. Sometimes I see all
He
the
has some
time. In
weird
fact,
takes. Like I'll just
yeah.
say, I'm pretty sure he gave Blue Velvet 1 star, and his main gripe with the movie is like one of the
He
characters.
has such stupid reasons for giving it a low grade.
He gave Speed 2 a good review, which was like one of the dumbest movies ever. I just don't
I
understand.
know. Have
his
you ever
reasoning
seen?
sometimes.
Have you ever seen Siskel and Ebert arguing about like Baby's Day Out? Or sometimes Ebert will give a good review to just
To be contrarian or something?
totally crappy.
I remember he gave.
I don't even. I've heard that. I think you're about to say Godfather. I've heard that about like Godfather 2. I don't know exactly if he did. I looked it up and it seemed like he gave all the Godfather movies. Maybe not Godfather 3, but kind of good reviews. So I think that's kind of an urban legend of him giving. But I could be totally wrong. But I do remember looking him up because I feel like I heard it on Stern specifically by Gary Dell'Abate saying that.
Ebert gave Die Hard 2 stars, which was, and I think he even gave Die Hard 2 a better rating, which was a shit movie.
Yeah, and I've never seen Die Hard, but I think he will do that sometimes. And even maybe that had something to do with his Home Alone thing, is that I think he feels bad about being wrong on the first movie and maybe even the second movie, and then he'll give
Tries to
the
correct course.
latter. Right. And it's just so dumb. You know what I hated? Because
What?
both Siskel and Ebert gave a bad review to something I asked you the other day that you had seen. Both Siskel and Ebert gave a bad review to Brazil.
Are we talking about the Terry Gilliam Brazil or the Brazil?
Right.
That's actually set in
Yes.
Brazil?
The Terry Gilliam. They both gave it a bad review and said, you shouldn't watch it. And I remember I watched the review after I saw it, and I was thinking that like this is such an amazing movie. And this was a long time ago. Probably if I watch Brazil now after what I've seen, I might not think it's so great. But when I watched it for the first time, I was like, man, this is so awesome. And then I watched Siskel and Ebert, and they were like, no, don't watch this, blah, blah, blah. I was like, F you, Siskel and Ebert. You're so stupid. And I still will go read after I watch a movie if it was made before like 2005 or whatever. I'll try to find Ebert's review of it online. But then a lot of times I'll read it and I'm like, it's just so surface level and so dumb. Like you were like the biggest filmer viewer in the country and you're just giving a recap of the film and then saying it's a piece of shit. It's like
this is what happens when you're a movie critic, though. I feel like you have more enjoyment out of picking apart and debating a movie, whether just casually watching and enjoying something.
Yeah, but he should pick apart and review like the streamline movies, and then when something's a little weirder like Brazil, he should say, hey, I'm gonna be nicer to this. But then he picks apart Brazil, but then says Baby's Day Out or whatever, just crazy crappy movies. Like, yeah, go watch this. And I don't know, something at the end of the day, I think, I hate to say it, but I kind of think there's nothing to it in terms of Siskel and Ebert. And I don't know. They're funny personalities.
I feel like they were more revolutionary for their format rather than their actual takes, because they had like a good TV format going on the whole
They did, but it's like nobody ever followed that format.
Yeah, that's true. I'll tell you what Roger Ebert's most controversial ratings were. So he gave Blue Velvet 2 stars. He gave A Clockwork Orange 2 stars. This is out of 4, by the way. Fight Club 2.5 stars. Usual Suspects 2 stars. Reservoir Dogs 3 stars. I don't know why that's controversial. 3 isn't low. Full Metal Jacket, he gave 2.5 stars. That's crazy. Donnie Darko 2.5. The Graduate, he gave 3. Some of these are saying controversial for just him saying the movie was good rather than great. I don't think that's controversial.
Yeah, but a lot of these, unfortunately, I haven't seen. I love The Graduate. In fact, The Graduate was the first movie I ever watched that was like a movie, like a film. That wasn't a movie, and I remember watching and thinking, "This is the greatest thing I ever watched." And then I'll go back and watch those movies that I watched when I was really young. And The Graduate's one of those that doesn't lose its muster. It's like that is such a great movie. Donnie Darko, I love. And the only other one that I heard of that list was what? It was Donnie Darko, The Graduate, and
You must have seen Full Metal Jacket.
I've never seen. I hate to say it. I like Kubrick, but I have not seen Full Metal Jacket.
Clockwork Orange.
I've read the book. I have not seen the movie, and I should see the movie.
Yeah,
One
some
of those
these
other.
are crazy, but
I
I'm saying
know.
it's
Some
controversial
people
that
are-
he gave Dead Poets Society 3 stars out of 4, which is
I think Dead Poets Society sucks. I mean, it's okay as a movie, but it's really not that great. And people treat that like it's a lot better than it is. I once had I hate to say it, but I once had a professor of poetry who told our class, he was like, because somebody had brought up Dead Poets Society and said, it might be a good film, but that's the worst movie possible in terms of talking about poetry. And I agree. That's just it. I don't like that movie whatsoever. And it's just kind of like too dumb. Like the what's his name? I mean, the Red Foreman character, I can't think of his actual name. But he's just such an extreme blocking principle that's like this is too extreme. This is too it's too his full purpose is narratological. It's not real. Like why would anybody be so upset? And they don't even say that Neil character is like slipping in grades in school or anything. It's just like you are not about to go act in this play, and then he has to kill himself. It's just I don't like that movie. Right.
You're talking about
Just-
the 70s show guy, his character, Mr. Perry.
Yeah. It's just
That was one
can't-
thing I thought it
maybe
was a little too one-dimensional or like a little too on the
he's
nose.
literally just a blocking character. He's just meant to be there to create this problem in which the plot then propels against or towards whatever. But that was
I do know there are parents that are like that, but still in like the screenwriting, they should have made it a little bit more nuanced because it did seem like the whole time I was like, why is he so butthurt about this kid going to the play?
right. It doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't make any sense in my
They
opinion.
could have like
My
added
kids-
maybe more backstory to his character for why he had the motivation to.
They should,
it
in my
away.
opinion, if they want to make that movie a better movie, they shouldn't have a character who's just look up the term blocking principle. He's just the blocking principle. He's meant to be there to create this this hurdle or boundary that can't be overcome, and that's why the whole narrative works in this way. I don't think either that Robin Williams' character is very good in that. And I don't like Robin Williams in general. I mean, he's a nice guy. It's sad how he died and all these things, but
Oh god,
I
I hope
think
you didn't
he-
watch Patch Adams. That was like one of his.
I did watch Patch
Oh
Adams.
no.
And I don't know. I've even seen episodes of what's his show where he's an alien.
Oh,
Mork and
and
Mindy.
yeah.
Right. I don't even understand why he was such a big guy. Because it's just like he is not that great, in my opinion. Not to say anything. He is a nice guy. He seemed like a super nice guy, and he seemed like he was a good actor, but his roles in general, no, they weren't my cup of tea.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he was good at Mrs. Doubtfire.
I don't even like Mrs. Doubtfire, I hate to say. But as Casket said, I think he said something like, "Oh, I wish we could get a pill that would give us this nostalgia," which I thought was funny. But
that was profound. Yeah.
I don't know if it's profound. I thought it was funny, but I don't know. Nostalgia means more to Casket than it means to me. I've always thought of, and sometimes I think of it in terms of the Casket verse. A lot of people are like, "Why can't I go back to my childhood or something?" And every time I think of that, I think of like, when I was a kid, all I wanted to be was an adult. Like, I don't know.
Oh, that's
I feel a
interesting.
little bit differently in terms of that. Maybe most people just wanted to be a kid forever, but not me. When I was a kid, I was like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to be an adult." Now that I'm an adult, I'm like, "God, this is shit." I can see why people could look backwards. But at the same time, it's not that I want to be a kid. I want to be an adult that's like financially successful or, whatever. But it's not to be a kid anymore. When I was a kid, I didn't get to choose how late. I could go to bed whenever I want tonight. Yeah, I have responsibilities tomorrow, but I don't know. I never was like, "Oh, I wish I could be a child again." That was never in my mind. Now, so I got to mute.
Well, Casket, what are your thoughts?
God, if I could go back and be a child again, I'd live my life so much differently.
Differently?
Oh, yeah.
What would you do differently?
Well, I definitely would never drink a soda.
I feel like would you have done anything to try to make friends in school more, or do you
Not
feel like that
really,
was
because I
just
moved
not going to
around
happen
so much, it
regardless?
didn't matter.
True. You could have still made friends outside of school somehow.
I tried.
That's actually, it brings up something I've talked with Casket before. Well, sometimes I bring up topics that are kind of like this. I remember particularly, I can't think of what movie we were talking about, and this was early on when I was Casket's friend, and I said, like, "Did you see this in theaters?" Because it was like, yeah, I understand exactly where Casket's coming from and why he's saying these things, because it's true. But a lot of times when you ask Casket questions, it'll just be such a kind of a sad answer that you don't delve into those
What can I
things because
say?
you say,
I've rolled a
"Hey,
lot of
maybe
ones
try
in
to
my
make more
life.
friends." You're right. It's not your fault, but it can be kind of sad.
But then he
Tina
also says
Jess,
he's
who
nostalgic for the
was
past.
talking. I know. Why do you say that, Casket? Even though the past is like, what period in your life are you nostalgic for? If you could say, "Hey, take me back to that time," where would you say, "Take me back"?
Oh man, the fall right before 9/11. It was great. It was me and my mom. We were on our own. We were hanging out, playing Resident Evil every day. We had PlayStation 1, and school was just within walking distance, which I could do.
Your dad wasn't
That
even
actually,
there. I'll have to talk to you more about this in private, but we were talking about this earlier, and I thought your dad was there on 9/11, and then you
No,
told
he
me no, he
wasn't.
wasn't. And now you're telling me the fall before 9/11 he wasn't there, because I'll ask you sometimes, why was 9/11 such a
No, it
major
wasn't the
point in your
fall
life? And
before
you'll say,
9/11. It was that fall during 2001 before 9/11.
right. Well, what do you mean? It seemed like you just said it wasn't the fall before 9/11, it was the fall before 9/11.
Oh man, I don't
Like, what do you mean there?
I'm stoned, so I may not be saying this right. I'm talking about fall of 2001.
Right.
That would have been
So
after
fall.
9/11 or
Yeah.
September. It's not really
I'm
fall.
talking like
Kind of-
July, August.
Okay.
that we call
And
that
you're
summer here, but yeah.
right.
Look,
Your dad
down
wasn't
here,
there at
everything
all.
is summer.
Yeah.
I know. Casket says that because what is fall versus summer in Florida? But your dad, when did your dad? It's weird because I would ask you, and you had said kind of like, well, 9/11 was the turning point in my life. And then I would say, why is that? You said kind of like that was when it seemed like my parents weren't together anymore, kind of. But then when I questioned you earlier today, and now you're saying this, it seemed like your dad was out of the picture a long time before that. You're at the house. I know exactly what house you're at. That eventually got like bulldozed over to make a highway, right?
Correct.
Right. So you're at this house, but I had assumed that your dad is there with you. When does he leave? Was he ever at this house? Like,
Oh no, he was
how does
there
the
for a
chronology work
while.
there?
Like we lived there for a good, I want to say, 4 years.
Like, whoa! I didn't know that. Maybe that's the rationale.
I remember.
But yeah, I don't know.
Let's see here. We probably moved in '98, early '99. Because that was the house I
Man, you were
spent
there for a long time.
Y2K in.
Hmm. I think the most surprising thing I learned was that Casket would play video games with his mom, like violent video games, which is strange to me.
Well, we liked horror movies. What can we say?
I'm actually not surprised by that because I just know how close Casket and his old mammy are.
Yeah.
Because obviously, Jeff, I don't know if you heard this in the live stream yesterday, I think it was, but I'll give you a Casket trivia question. What was the VHS that Casket and his mom together wore out?
Ooh,
A
oh,
movie
I wouldn't know
you've certainly seen the movie before.
that.
It's
Twister?
a horror movie. No, it's a horror
it's a horror
movie.
Come on, Jeff.
Oh,
What's
man,
one of
it
my
wouldn't be
favorite
like-
horror movies?
Blair Witch?
Yep,
Blair
it is
Witch.
Blair Witch Project. Just as Jingle just says, Blair Witch.
How can he say he's not part of the Casket verse when he knows that question? Also, Jingle Just says Nanu Nanu in reference to Robin Williams' TV show called
Mork and Mindy.
Mork and Mindy. Okay, yes, Mork and Mindy. Absolutely. Nanu Nanu, Mork and Mindy. Casket, do you have any memories of Robin Williams that you wish to share?
Well, I'd always heard this saying, and I'm probably saying it wrong, but people who try and make you laugh the hardest are sometimes the most sad, broken people.
Yeah. I had heard actually that he might have had like dementia at the end. I might be wrong. But I think there was kind of this myth after he died, Robin Williams died, that it was like, and I'm actually thinking of, I hate to say it, but Tammy Slayton kind of perpetuated this myth in a video. And I know Casket does not like Tammy Slayton, but people had tried to said like he was depressed or something, but I think it was actually that he had some form of dementia. And I don't know, maybe I'm talking out of school or maybe I'm talking out of my ass. Sorry to say a 3-letter word. But I think it was just like he wasn't actually a sad. I mean, I can't imagine you're like super rich and famous when you're that sad, but I think it was more like he started
you're
developing
right about
dementia.
this.
Right.
Robin Williams had Lewy body dementia, a progressive
Lewy
brain
body.
disorder. Lewy body dementia, a progressive brain disorder that causes cognitive and behavioral changes,
Yeah.
and the diagnosis was revealed after his death.
Right.
Yeah,
And
see,
he
that would go
had
beyond just depression.
Right. And somehow there was this kind of myth that came out after his death that it was like, oh, the funny, the sad clown or degenerative disease that was genetic, that it was certainly horrible, but it really wasn't kind of like a sad clown. I'm sure during his real life he was kind of happy because he was what? He was just like the richest he was when Robin Williams was alive. I feel like he was he was an A-list celebrity who, what problem could he possibly have? And he did. What problem could any A-list celebrity have besides genetic disorders that are degenerative, I suppose? But yeah, I don't know. For some reason, that's like an obscure fact. It shouldn't be. It reminds me of Casket. What's the name of the dad in Full House? You love Full House. What's the name of the dad?
Tanners, right?
It's the Tanners. What's the real name of the actor?
Bob Saget.
Bob Saget. Well, I shouldn't say obviously, but he died within the last 10 years, and there was something really weird about conspiracy or whatever. I don't think it was a conspiracy, but he died, and he was in his bed when the people found him. He was in his bed, and
He was in his
the official.
hotel. He was in a hotel room, and like he hit the back of his head on the headboard, and he felt like he had a little bit of a headache. So he's like, "I'll just go to sleep," and then he died in his sleep. Right?
I didn't even hear that, but I knew he was in a bed and that his cause of death was like blunt force trauma to the head. So that people tried to say kind of like, well, why is somebody asleep in their bed and they have blunt force trauma? I didn't know that he hit the head frame or the bed frame, but he certainly hit his head very hard. And
there's no like footage of it at the time, so I'm assuming the autopsy. They would
certainly
do their forensics, and maybe they saw blood at the back of the headboard or something like that.
Oh my gosh, I could even say something here and I won't even say it. But okay, I'm sorry, you're gonna say something.
Just say it, man.
No, I won't, because I'm gonna message Casket. Actually, Casket can't see it. I'll message Casket later, but it's just a bizarre, funny fact that I don't know. It's not a.
Well, I wanted to touch on one thing, Casket. You're like obsessed with these found footage movies.
Yeah.
Right.
How much of that is just you trying to want to create the nostalgia you felt around Blair Witch?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I do genuinely like found footage movies.
It's strange though, because you'll show me the shittiest found footage movies, and you say they're good, and I'm like, I feel like you're just trying to like get back to the Blair Witch Project, like recreate the whatever you felt back then.
Like, come on, anytime we digging at the marrow wasn't good.
Oh God. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Casket or Jeff, and I hate to interrupt in this beautiful discussion because I don't talk about movies with Casket, but I can imagine that's such. But have you ever seen the movie Shut Up, Little Man? It's a documentary. It's found footage. Shut Up, Little Man. Have you ever heard of that or
No, I
seen
haven't.
it?
No.
Yeah, this used to be on YouTube. I don't know if it's on, excuse me. This used to be on Netflix. I don't know if it's on YouTube, but it's a very, I feel like Casket might even, I think Jeff would like Strongman more, and I think Casket might like Shut Up Little Man more. But Shut Up Little Man is a very weird thing in which these people had moved into the apartment next to these two drunk people, and at night they just start like screaming, having these fights, and then the people started recording their fights. And this is pre-internet, but then they would send out the, like, not VCR, but like, what are those tapes that you'd like put into your car? What is that called?
Oh,
can't
cassette
remember.
tapes?
Cassette, not even 8-deck, but cassettes. They would send out these cassette tapes, and then they get copied and just sent every Strongman or what was the other one I mentioned? Shut Up Little Man, Strongman, and I Think We're Alone Now. I Think We're Alone Now and Strongman are better movies. Casket might prefer Shut Up Little Man just because it's such a lost, not a lost media, but a kind of found footage or found audio. They call it, there's like this very official term, audio verite, they call it in the movie. But that's a good documentary as well. Casket seems to like documentaries, and I think other people have even said, "Oh, we need more documentaries." Have you ever seen? Man, I was going to say something, and I don't want to even say that now, and I don't want to say the other thing. Have you ever seen? Let's just say, this isn't what I was going to say. Have you ever seen Hands on a Hard Body?
No, I haven't.
Casket, I know you have, but it's Jeff.
No, I
Hands
haven't.
on a Hard Body. Have you ever seen, and that's a good movie too, it's people have to keep their hands on a car, and whoever keeps their hands on the car longest gets to own the car. That's a pretty good
Oh.
documentary. Have you ever seen, actually, I hated this movie the first time I saw it, and then I've seen it probably like 5 times since I first watched it, and I think it's a great documentary. And the only reason I watched it is because Roger Ebert suggested it as a great movie. It's called Cripes Almighty. I don't want to give the wrong title. I have a title in mind, but I don't want to. It's called let me look it up. Casket, you sing a song while I'm looking it up.
Well, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Okay, good. Casket gave a beautiful song. The movie Hoop Dreams is what I was thinking of, and I was not thinking of that title. Hoop Dreams, 1994. Have you ever seen this? I assume Casket, no. Jeff, have you ever seen Hoop Dreams?
No, I haven't seen a lot of documentaries, come to think of it.
Hoop Dreams is actually, it's not, Casket wouldn't like it. Maybe you would, and maybe people in the Casket-verse would. Have you ever seen the movie American, I think it's called American Film? It's a documentary about making a movie that's actually really good, and Casket might like it because it's about making like a low-budget horror movie.
I haven't seen that one.
American Film, 1999, 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think actually, of all the documentaries I've suggested, Casket would like that most. I could suggest more, but I don't know. I would just say Casket would like this movie. I feel like because it's something that it's a topic that I think Casket would like, which is making a horror movie and how you go about that. We haven't had a comment in the YouTube verse for a while. If anybody does want to comment, please. We love you, YouTube verse. So, but I don't know. Whenever I've said things that have nothing to say off of it, I say, do you have any thoughts, Jeff or Casket? Jingle Justice, I love that you're calling it YouTube verse now. You know,
Mm.
definitely me so. Definitely It's the YouTube verse, and we love the YouTube verse. We've got two people. I think I'm one of them. Jingle Justice has been a great fan, wouldn't you say, Casket?
Oh
Like
yeah.
we've talked to him actually. We've had him in a call before, and I've heard his voice, but he's certainly been like one of the number one fans. Jingle Justice is certainly. I've never given Casket half a penny, which Casket will agree with. Jingle Justice is a good donator, and not even a good donator. Who cares about that? He's a good fan, and that's what we want. I think you would agree, Casket, that a fan is more important than a donator,
Oh
right?
yeah, the fans are always what are most important.
Yeah, right. Casket loves the fans. Sometimes people have gotten on me, and I don't mean to cut off Jeff if he has anything to say, but sometimes the fans have gotten on me about the book, which is just idiotic. But they've said like, well, what is the historian gain? What does the historian seek to gain off of the book? And I think like, you know what, if I was entrepreneurial, if I was an enterprising person, I wouldn't hitch my wagon to Casket King because I don't think there's any money to be made here. And Casket has actually made money, and I wouldn't dare in my wildest dreams ask Casket for any money. It's been a charge that's leveled against me for years at this point. Like, oh, you're making the book so that you'll get money off of Casket, and it's dumb that I would even kind of entertain it, but I just want to say, obviously not. I mean, I spent so much time on this stupid book that nothing's going to come of, and I hope in my wildest dreams that Casket becomes a wealthy man, and I don't make a hay penny off of it, because Casket is the man, and he's the reason that there's me and Jeff and Casket and now five people in the YouTube verse. Somehow we love Casket. I don't know the reason. I wish I knew. I know the reason I love Casket, but I think it's not the reason why most people love Casket. In fact, me and Casket were talking about this earlier. Casket, why did you say most people are interested in you?
I think it's one of two things. It's either one, they like to laugh at the fat man, or two, they realize I'm a chill dude who's real and I'm not trying to sell you something or tell you to subscribe every 5 seconds and do this and that. I'm just a dude you can chill with.
Jeff,
Yeah.
I won't say anything
Go.
about it. You know, I just think, and it's obviously it's a different thing than why I'm still interested in Casket. I said to Casket earlier, I hate to, I don't know, I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble about this or people are going to find. Krusty in the past has said that he thinks I'm autistic. I won't say anything about this, but I thought maybe my interest in Casket might be an autistic obsession, Frank. And I said to Casket earlier, I understand why I'm obsessed with you, but it doesn't have anything to like. Well,
Hold on,
it.
hold on, everybody. The stream's breaking up a little bit. We're hitting a rough patch.
Yeah, I can actually
Is it
barely hear
me?
either of you.
It's probably me. I feel like it's good
What,
that
what
we've hit
what
a
if we
rough
all
patch. I think.
leave the hangout room and rejoin? That might like restart the server for the voice call.
All right, let's do that.
Jingle Jeff says I'm autistic and you act a lot like me.
All right, let's try this again.
Hey, we're back.
Could have been a Discord thing. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Wait, does Krusty really believe you're? Okay, can you hear me? Okay, Casket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
I think it's just the historian that's breaking up.
Yeah, he's breaking up real bad.
Yeah. Okay. He must be on Wi-Fi or something.
Well, I'm sure he'll be back.
Yeah.
Right? What? Can you hear me, Casket?
Oh, now I
Okay,
can.
now we can hear you.
What? Yeah.
Could you
I
not
don't
hear
know what's
us?
I'm sorry. It's me, certainly. I don't know why. I'm on my Yeah, I can always hear you, but I'm on my data, so
Oh.
I don't know. I'm always on my data though. It's never been a problem. Casket's never heard me basically off my data. So I don't know.
Crazy. Do you always
that is my
communicate from your phone?
Oh yeah. So I've never joined Discord through my computer in my life. In fact, I think it's funny that Jeff is now on because for one, when I did that, I don't know, I guess yeah, were you here when we read that sort of play that I wrote, Jeff? I think you were, and then you left shortly afterwards. But in that play, in fact, I was going to look for it now. I don't have it in front of me. But in it, I say, data, RAM. And it was just like I needed computer terms. And I used that, and I thought it was funny. But I think at some point, we should do kind of like me versus Casket King in terms of who knows computer terms or computers better. Because I really think Casket knows computers better than I do. I know absolutely nothing about computers, and I think Casket knows more.
I don't know. You'd be
It
surprised
would be
how
a
stupid
close.
I am.
It would be a close competition.
Ask us a basic computer question and point it towards one of us. I don't want it to be like who can answer first. I mean, ask me first, and then ask Casket, and then ask Casket, and then ask me. Try to see if we know just basic computer terminology.
Well, what does RAM stand for?
Ooh, so is it me first?
Let's do Casket first.
I have no
Casket
idea.
first. Casket says no idea. If it's back to me, I think it's random. It's random memory, but I can't think of what the A would be. Random something memory.
It's a Daft Punk album, if that helps.
I don't know much about Daft Punk, but it's random something starting with an A memory. I don't know. I don't think I'll have random accessible memory. I'll just guess.
Ooh, basically random access memory.
Ooh, I was close, but
close. But I'll give you partial points for that.
0 points. I want no points.
All right, we got a question from Jiggle Jess, who donated.
Ooh.
What interface do you usually connect a GPU over?
Okay, so Casket, I guess this is a question for the trivia. What do you think that is, Casket? And if you don't know it, I'll try to answer. What do you think that is?
That would be right.
Wait, really?
Oh, I was not going to say that at all. Casket gets a point. Okay, what's the next question?
I mean, if you want to be specific, you could say like the PCIe bus, but
we're not going to.
Generally, the motherboard.
We're not going to answer that. What's the next question? It's now to me that I will try to answer. And if I don't get it, it will go to Casket, who's got 1 point, and I've got 0 points. Anyone in the stream, please ask a question. But Jeff, do you have a question for us? Because we don't have a question right now. Ask the simplest questions, because I don't think
I don't want to make
either.
them too simple.
I think you should. I don't think I won't know them.
I know how to
So
copy
I'm looking
and
up some
paste.
examples, and
Okay, Jingle Jess asks, how many bits are in a byte? And now this question's towards me. I think this is stupid, but I'm gonna say 2.
no, but it is an even number.
It is, and I do know because I think of actually wait. Oh no, it's an even number. Okay, I was thinking of, I have heard the term 2-bit before in terms of like an insult, like, oh, this 2-bit. And I think 2-bit is 25 cents. Or like 2 bits is 25 cents. So it wouldn't be an even number then, because it would be 12.5. I'm gonna
It's a whole
guess
number.
1 bit is 12.5.
So 8 bits is 1 byte. I'm pretty sure.
Well, then I'll have to say, if I'm gonna have to use my calculator here. If 1 bit is 12.5 times 8, 100 bits are in a byte.
Wait. I think they go by like 8s though, because like you have like 128. I don't know. Now I'm confused.
Man, I don't know. We're gonna have to hear Jingle Jess. There are 8 bits in a byte.
See, I was
Oh my
thinking
God,
8,
I don't know
but
this.
I was afraid to say it because I thought it would sound stupid.
Oh, he says there are 8 bits in a byte. It goes by power of 2. I guessed 12.5, so I'm wrong. Casket didn't really get the question asked to him, but he said he would guess 8. I'm gonna trust him, but I'm gonna say you don't get a point.
I think maybe this one might be harder for historians, so I'll ask you: can you name 4 Windows operating systems?
Okay, OS is operating system.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Windows.
Ask
10.
that. I don't know.
Like Casket,
I wasn't even thinking of that. Okay, there's Windows 10, there's Windows 8, there's Windows 97, and then there's OS X. Am I correct? Maybe I'm.
OS X is Mac.
Oh, so I'm gonna say, and in fact, Casket gave it to me because I didn't realize that's what the question was. There's OS 10, OS 8, OS 97, and then OS 95.
Yeah, and then there were like non-numbered ones like Windows Vista, which came out around.
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
Windows
Vista.
ME.
Okay, now
Vista
ask
was
Casket
bullshit.
a question.
XP was goated.
XP was
Alright,
what I was thinking when I said X. Yes, of course. Ask Casket now.
All right, Casket. What does URL stand for? I don't think he would get this.
I have no idea.
See, I pulled up a list of questions, but a lot of these like dumb questions that you don't really need to know. I want to ask a more interesting one. Do you know what CPU stands for?
No.
Historian?
C must be P. I mean, C must be computer.
Nope. It's something different.
Oh, then I don't know it.
All right, it's Central Processing Unit.
Oh, that makes sense.
Historian, were you listening to the AI debate? they had yesterday?
Sort of. I wasn't really paying attention, but
Okay.
I was in the stream, but I was just kind of not paying attention.
So you can say either way who you found more persuasive or like what side of the
Well,
argument you'd be on.
frankly, I didn't want to say it, but I thought it was kind of cringe, and I hate to say it because Krusty might get mad at me, but I thought it was kind of cringe when he was saying that I won the debate and
Yeah. All right. Yeah,
blah,
I think
blah,
at one
blah,
part he said like I got a gotcha moment at this part.
The only thing I actually contributed to that was when it was over, and we talked a little bit off of stream, but when it was over, Krusty was saying, I just wrote a paper that could have proved your point and blah blah blah. And then he was saying kind of like I wasn't actually arguing what I believe. And then I had said, well, it sounds like Krusty, you're trying to be kind of, and I don't want to make Krusty mad, but I just was saying like you're talking about sophistry and you're arguing a point that you don't exactly believe in. And you said, well, this is kind of what my debate team argues for. And he was talking about university. No university maybe the debate team does teach sophistry, but any university past Socrates would just say that this is not how it's meant to be done. You should argue the point that you actually believe. And it's just there's a play by Aristophanes called The Clouds, and it's meant to be a mockery of Socrates. It's really and it was written when Socrates was still alive, which he was present at the first showing, but it's meant to be a mockery of Socrates. It's really a mockery of the sophists, and the joke there is that there's a teacher who teaches you how to argue the lesser point and make it the greater point, make the weaker point the stronger point. And I think this is bad for society in general, but I think the only thing we could say that this applies to in modern society is really like lawyers and the law, in which a lawyer, in the worst case scenario, and it's what a lawyer has to take a case. It's not the lawyer's fault, but a lawyer has to take a case that they don't actually believe in and try to make it the stronger case, even though they know it's wrong. And that's exactly what they're making fun of. I don't think Krusty should do that in general, even if it's in debate club, but in life in general, that's exactly the opposite of what I think the university tries to teach people. But
I think from his
it made any
perspective, he
sense.
thinks maybe it's a less exciting podcast episode if either side starts conceding.
I don't think he was talking about his perspective. I think he was talking. I mean, it was certainly his perspective, but I think it was about more like what he's been taught in terms of debate club. And I would just say maybe it's true for debate club, but then I would say debate club doesn't make you ready for anything. If you defend a position that's not actually your position, I think it would have been more interesting in Casket's podcast if he actually gave his real position instead of trying to defend the opposite position of Extra Queso. But I don't know. That's just my own position. Certainly, a lot of times I disagree with Krusty. I'm sure Krusty disagrees with me all the time, and we can believe in what we want. But no, I don't know what you were about to say in terms of the debate last night, but I brought that up, and I didn't really bring it up later. I think, in fact, it wasn't on the stream. It was after we had gone on to a private call that Extra Queso had said, you should have said more. And I didn't have anything to say besides that. I think that just like Krusty took the role of the sophist, which he shouldn't have done, in my opinion. I think that actually makes him not look weaker, but it just makes him take the weaker position and make it the stronger. And it doesn't make any sense. Like it just to me doesn't make any sense to take a position that you don't actually agree with and then defend. But that's just me. And Krusty's Krusty. I don't want to I don't want to hurt his feelings for sure. Or I don't want to. I shouldn't say it in that. I don't want to just. I hope Krusty understands what I'm saying. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, but even the setup to the debate seemed a little bit simplistic because they were arguing like for and against regulation, but they never said from the start like what the terms of the regulation is, because there's regulation during model development, like what the scientists and tech people are actually working on at the time, and then there's like post deployment. So the model exists, it's out in the public, and you're regulating while it's out in the public. And I don't know which stances they were taking, or if it's a mix of both, or just one or the other. So like
Well,
they weren't really specifying what regulations they were wanting to put in place.
Well,
and what
I
they
thought
wanted
I
to
made a
deploy.
good point, but I think it was both. I think, if I remember correctly, both Krusty and Extra Queso didn't really agree with me. But I said, Krusty said, I don't want to say anything about politics. And I said, well, if you're talking about regulation, it's necessarily about politics,
Yeah,
right?
the
Like,
body
who's
of
going to
enforcement
regulate?
is politics.
Right. And I was like, who's going to regulate except for some political structure or whatever? And I don't know. Certainly said that, and it was kind of like, oh no, like the body that's going to regulate it is political, but the discussion is not political. In my opinion, no, I don't think so. Regulation it's political in my mind. It's whoever has the bigger stick, I guess, and the bigger stick is the Leviathan. It's the political body. I don't think you can actually talk about that discussion, or you can't talk about that topic without talking about politics. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean,
Well, I felt like
uh,
when Krusty said no politics, I feel like he means like no hot button political
right,
issues. He probably
right.
could have talked the politics without getting into a sticky situation.
And I didn't listen. I didn't really listen. I was doing something else, but I'm sure they did talk about politics because I can't imagine how that would possibly work in terms of regulation, but not politics. Who's going to regulate it? If it's not, yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
well,
know. I don't want
he
to
was
make up
saying
on that.
he wants the U.S. to beat China, so he's talking politics like right off the bat there.
Right. I think you're right. And you case in point when you said whatever you were just said, but it is. It's a political matter, and I understand what Krusty was saying. I think he was saying kind of like I don't I don't want to be problematic in any way. And from everything I heard, I mean, he wasn't problematic, but I don't think that some political opinions can certainly be problematic, but I don't think even Krusty's actual political opinions would be in any way problematic. And he probably should have, but I think Casket would agree that I don't know the Casket verse. I think unfortunately has been too focused on like controversy, and you're gonna say, oh well, historian, you really pushed for this AI debate. I pushed for it after it was supposed to happen and it didn't happen because I was like, if you're gonna tease something, you should do it. Like then you have fans who are looking for it and you don't have it. That was literally the only reason. And I said, when it does happen, I just won't care because I don't know anything about this. As we've seen from the very few questions, if I had to put my life on the line, I would say Casket knows more about computers than I do. And I know that's a fact. Casket knows more than me about computers in general. I know nothing. Casket might know nothing, but he knows a little bit more than me. So it's just like, yeah, maybe I could talk about regulations, or maybe I could give an opinion about regulations, but it's not about AI, which is such a, I don't know, it's such a Pandora's box that we've opened. But yeah, I'm sorry, I can't even remember exactly what the initial question is, but overall, I'm wondering what's going to happen next week because we've had now the AI debate, and I don't know that Casket has anything planned.
And
And
like,
I
is
was
every week going to be a debate kind of thing?
no, I hope it's not.
Yeah.
And what I was saying, now that you say that, is now that I remember it, is that I was thinking so lately in the Casketverse, it's been like so many, like, not debates, but just like confrontations and arguments. And I told Casket one night, and I didn't even mean to say this on live, but I had said, I don't like when we have this arguments, and it makes me have nightmares, and I hold it. It's like I have, a tumor in my stomach or something, and it stays with me. I hate it. And it was never what the Casket-verse was before. And now that the AI debate is done, I just hope we can be more cordial and we can be more, loving.
I agree.
Yeah, because just the Casket-verse in the last, I don't know if it's 3 months or whatever, it's just changed so much. It's just changed. And there's more, it's more vitriolic, there's more just black bile, it's more, yeah. And I don't like that at all. And I don't know if the fans like it and they say, oh, keep it going. I just say it's just not good for anyone in the Casket-verse. And I hope we don't do that. I hope we focus more about things that we like. In fact, somebody had said in yesterday's stream, when I was still paying attention, because I wasn't paying attention for very long, they had said, "Oh, I really like the movie night." And it was when we watched that movie that Casket played, where we really didn't talk about the movie. And I thought, yeah, that was actually a really great kind of conversation between the Casket-verse that was fun. And okay, we didn't talk about the movie, but we didn't need to. It was just like we had the Casket-verse and we were talking, and that people in the Casket-verse were interested. And I don't know, I just hope it's like that. I did think that movie video was very fun. Okay, I was talking too much, I'm sure, but I do in general. And if I'm going to join a chat, it's like it's almost like saying to Casket, and this is a ridiculous thing to say, but it feels like this is a nice analogy. It's like saying to Casket, okay, you can join, but don't be overweight. It's like, if I'm going to join, I'm going to
I've
talk
actually
too
had someone
much.
say that to me before.
Right, and it's like, okay, I know.
I guess there's one school of thought where for the podcast we have to have segments and we have to have debates and there has to be this structured sort of schedule. But at the other time, like, another school of thought is just you get a bunch of people and just hang out and just say something spontaneous.
Yeah, and I
Which I
actually
think has-
told in our last podcast, I said I don't know that we should actually have the Casket podcast anymore. I think, if Casket wants to do a live stream on Saturday, that should be fine. But I said the Casket podcast is Krusty's child, and most of the time Krusty's not there. And it's not a jab against Krusty, but it's just like, this is weird, this is new, and I don't know exactly that we need it, and it's kind of brought out negative things because I think we do think, oh, we've got to work in a certain way to create to create content for the YouTubers, but it's just like it's just like, this is Casket YouTube channel. It just doesn't seem that serious to me. And I think it might make more sense if Casket wants to go live on Saturday, he could start at 5 o'clock and he could do whatever he wants. And he could start at 2 o'clock, whatever. It's just like, I don't know that in the future it needs to be a 7 to 9 p.m. Casket Crew podcast that is so strict, in my opinion. In fact, I would vote against it. But
it's good to have ideas for things to talk about coming up, but I don't like when there's like this rigid sort of schedule where it's like this night's going to be the debate night where we talk about AI for an hour. So I don't like being like locked into a particular thing, especially if you feel like the conversation has run its course. So I think it's important to, if you think about something interesting during the week, write it down and just keep it in the back of your mind for the Saturday if you want to bring it up. But I don't like having a sort of a rigid locked in schedule.
Yeah, it's true, but also it's like it's Sunday night. We didn't plan anything. In fact, the plan for tonight was to talk about supernatural stuff. We haven't talked about it. We've talked about whatever. If you get more than two people, even if you get two people, but especially if you get more than two people, it's gonna figure itself out, in my opinion.
If you have
And
4 or 5 people on the stream, the conversation is going to flow regardless of what you're talking about. If it's like 2 or 3 people, then you kind of like have to fish for. There can be like dead air in some spaces, but
there can be dead air, but typically, and I've said this before, one thing I don't like is dead air. And when I'm in a call, I completely avoid it. And we've had this call tonight. If I was like, oh, I have nothing else to say, and eventually I'm gonna have to leave, within the next 30 minutes because I gotta work at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. But it's like I don't know. I don't have that problem, but I'm a different person. And I don't say that as like going better or something. When I feel dead air, I could just feel the air. And if I stopped talking right now and Casket didn't have anything to say, I would change the subject and do something else. But I don't know. It's just in general, the Casketverse has gotten a little more showbiz. Aggressive or showbiz lately, where it's just like there are 4 people. One of them is me. I assume one of them is Jeff, maybe not, but it's just like it's just not so serious that I don't know.
yeah.
When I'm talking, I do say, okay, we can't have dead hair, but at the same time, it's just like who are we playing to? One of my favorite moments in the Casket verse was when I had called this show business and Jeff laughed. And I was trying to just think of a word to describe this as, and I wasn't, but as soon as he laughed, I just thought like, this is so dumb. Like this is not, who's making any money of it? In show business, people make money. Okay, Caskets made $4 off of the stream, which is $6. Wow. Actually, that's more than I thought. But that's great. And Jingle Jess has been a great fan, but overall it's just like to me, it's like it's not that serious. This is a waste of time. For me, at least. I would assume it is for Jeff as well. And I think Casket would probably kind of agree no offense, but I assume most time in Casket's universe is a waste of time. But I do this in spite of things I could do. And I think Jeff does it as well. And I think Jingle Jess does it as well. It's just like it's a lot of people who have other things to do, but we do this. I don't know. It's like, is it a coping mechanism? Is it a displacement activity? I don't even know. But
I come on just to kind of unwind and shoot this shit, which makes the planned segments seem a little bit more forced, because that's not really what I come here for. But
yeah, I agree. It is just kind of. It was meant to be a wind down time, but sometimes it can be like. Especially, I'm sorry, Casket.
By the way, guys, I found the perfect date to put on the clapper. It's April 20th, 1969.
Wow. Not April 20th, 1969, but I hate to say it, Casket. April 20th, do you know whose famous birthday is on that date, Casket or Jeff?
I don't know. I know it's fucking Puck Day.
I happen to do.
It's not
I do, and
whatever.
I won't say his name, but he's a real jerk. I
Right.
think we can all agree on
Gagal
that.
Shitler
Oh no! Fuck!
was born. He was born on 420. Believe it or not.
Fuck me.
Did you
in
write
the
it down
ass.
in your unerasable marker?
Yeah, I did.
Casket?
Fuck me.
Oh, you should still keep it.
Well, at least I
Why?
didn't
Because
put
he
a
had
weird.
his birthday
At
that
least the
day.
year
You
is
can't.
1969, so at least maybe people know it's a joke.
Can you show the clap
Yeah, hold on, let
for
me grab it.
Casket on
Right
the
here.
video?
Oh, that's
Okay, I'm
amazing.
waiting to see. I don't know. I think I'm just like typically with my internet, I can't see it, but
Yeah,
I
I
also
can see
just
it.
think I'm a dingoid. Oh, I think I did see like half a second of Casket. Now I see Casket very bright. So I think things have really changed. Now he's kind of scratching his head.
I'm not doing any
Thank
of
you for
these
the
things.
play-by-play.
Now he's looking down.
Yeah, but
Oh,
we're
come
watching on the
on.
YouTube
Okay,
stream, which
now
is
I see.
delayed.
Right. Like 20 seconds. Like now I see the clapper. Let me look what you wrote down. Take 69.
I'm so
In fact,
fucking
like
stupid.
it's so blurry that I can't see it. Oh, come on, Casket. Who cares?
I mean, most people know it as a reference to weed. That's the first go-to.
So you have take 69 on 420 69.
Yeah.
It's 69 squared.
You can never have too
What's
much
the scene
69.
name going to be called? What are you going to put for the scene name?
I don't know.
Would you dare put Jared Fogle?
No.
Jeff, have you ever
Yes.
seen the Jared Fogle video?
The video? Are we just talking about like a
The
commercial he filmed?
video. No. I'm talking about a video I made, Casket Record, that he
Oh,
said today. The only reason I recorded it is because I knew it would never become public, which I was shocked by.
I think he showed me the unlisted version.
It was
I don't know if
never uploaded. It was one time shown on a live stream. That's all I could say.
That's probably where I saw it. I don't remember what the bit was.
Casket, would you be interested at all in showing it in this context to say that you sort of renounce or denounce any connection with the video itself and that I made it? But could it be shown, do you think?
I mean, I guess I could play it, sure.
Casket will not upload this video. You will never see this video on his channel proper, but sometimes it will be shown
now.
Okay, we won't say anything. Go off your screen so it'll just be you.
Hold on.
You know what I mean? And then
All right, we are now back.
Oh damn!
do you have the video?
I have it right here.
Can you introduce the video?
Basically, you wanted me to make a video about Jared Fogle getting a holiday in my hometown.
Right. Yeah. The idea here is that this is an absurd video in which The idea is just basically like Casket was online, and this is kind of like the inspiration here was an old video that Casket made called, I think it's called like Teachers Torturing Your Children. Do you remember that, Casket?
I do.
Like Casket used to just look at kind of news stories and say, okay, I'm gonna talk about that now on a video. And I thought, well, it would be funny if Casket did that same thing, but there was no actual story there. He was just making it up. And then he recorded it, but he told me recently today that when he recorded it, he knew it would never be published. I think he's kind of lying. I think when you recorded it, you thought it would be published. Would you agree, Casket? You really thought it would never be published when you recorded it?
Yeah. Oh, fuck me.
What's going on? Do you have a cramp?
No, I just hurt my back real bad.
What? How?
I need smoke.
Well, I don't know what's going on in the Casket verse. I yes, you can see it in the little screen on the corner, but Casket told me that he would not post the video, and then I said, let's redo it, or at least kind of edit
You gotta
it
be
in
fucking
which
shitting me. My vape just
plug it in, Casket. The Glade Corporation says plug it in, right?
plug it in, plug it in.
Can you plug it in without shuffling off of the bed?
Yeah, I can. But the thing is, I'm using that plug right now to charge my Switch. I need to check the battery and see where it's at.
It's good enough.
35%.
Plug that in. I mean, Casket said he would not publish the video, so I said, okay, let's make it even more extreme so that nobody could watch this video and think it were true. Draw a headline of like a newspaper, but draw it really badly and say like Jared Fogle gets his own day, so that anybody who saw it would just immediately know this is a joke. Casket gave kind of like a half laugh, and then
I'm going
nothing
to
ever
attempt to
came of
plug
it.
this into my computer.
Ooh. It also brings up a memory that I brought up yesterday, which is that at one point in time, I asked Casket, can I be your head writer in your universe? And he said no. And so I haven't really written anything. I guess I wrote that little play. But in terms of what actually goes on in the Casket verse, I tried to be his head writer, and he told me no. He's now got it. But he told me no, so I can't be his head writer. But the only thing I ever wrote for Casket in the universe was this video. So whenever you're ready, Casket, you can play it.
Hold on, I'm in a lot of fucking pain at the moment. Let me get a hit, and then we'll play the video.
Casket is the king.
All right. Here we go. Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy Casket King here, back at it again with another video. I was surfing the net, and I was on Yahoo, and I was looking at some of the news articles, and I couldn't believe the bullshit I just saw. Apparently, in Tampa next Thursday, it's going to be Jared Fogle Day. They're giving this fucker his own day in Tampa. Can you believe that shit? So I'm sure me and a lot of other people are going to be protesting this because fuck that motherfucker. I hope he rots in prison. So yeah, come out with me on Thursday and protest. Fuck that motherfucker. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening. Bye.
It feels like a hostage video, like he's reading from I think the least believable thing about that whole video is him saying, "Come out with me on Thursday." That's a great video, though.
Casket refuses to post it. He does not want to have any connection. In fact, there was a little drama earlier today that I won't get into in the Casket verse, but I asked Casket if I posted a picture. In fact, it began, if somebody in the Casket verse posted a picture of you making out with Jared Fogle, would you remove it? What do you think he said, Jeff?
He would remove it for anybody, but if you posted it, he would leave it or something.
He would remove it if anybody posted it, but if I posted it, he said I would still remove it and I would send you a message saying, "Are you okay?" If I had posted that picture. But he said, well, I don't want to have anything to do with Jared Fogle. And I hadn't seen this video in a long time, but it's interesting that Casket is actually...
What's up?
Right, I do remember last round. But it's interesting that Casket's so anti-Jared Fogle in the video, but he still says, no, I won't post it because I don't want anything to do with him. And I gave him an option to make it even more obvious that it was a joke. In general, I've talked to Casket before, and I said, I think my sense of humor is a lot more absurd than yours is. And I don't know, anytime I give, in fact, Casket, do you remember the video idea that I gave you recently, semi-recently, about a video you could have made?
No.
In fact, I'll give you a hint. I said we would need Jeff's help here because I wouldn't know how to do this, but I'm sure Jeff would.
I have no idea.
What if I said cell phone? A video, we need Jeff's help, and it's about a cell phone. Sound like Casket might have saying something. What if I said uncomprehensible cell phone Jeff YouTube video?
I think Casket vaped his way out of that memory. It's in the ether.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lost in time, like tears in rain.
It wasn't so long ago. I wanted Casket to give I wanted the video on his channel to be called like phone review. And I said, do a phone review where you're holding up your cell phone and for like a minute or a minute and a half or 2 minutes, you just kind of review your phone and say whatever you're going to say. But then I said I wanted to put a filter over it to where your voice would just be totally incomprehensible, to where it would just be this like, while you're like showing off your phone. And I said, this would be a funny video idea, but I said, I don't know how to do that. Probably Jeff would. And Casket was like, oh, that'd be a funny idea. But then nothing came of it. And I guess he thought he forgot about it totally. That was only like within the last month. But
most Casket ideas never come to fruition.
Right.
I've been waiting on this sponsor video for like 2 weeks.
The sponsor video is coming. I have all the props. I just got to get my mom to hold the damn camera.
Does his mom really need to hold the camera? Because you were saying she does not.
Well, if he wants to shoot it in the bathroom, then
I want to shoot it in the bathroom.
Man, what the heck could this video possibly be?
Because why would I be doing this in my bed?
Would you
it could be done.
would you be okay with I shot the wad, I've told the secret of what's gonna happen here, but would you still be okay with posting a video of you doing a phone review where your voice is totally incomprehensible?
Maybe.
Right. Casket does not want to do that. Any video idea I give to Casket, he does not want to do it. So I don't know.
You're
It's-
so well versed in Casket speak that you know his maybe means no. Like maybe
Right,
is a flat no.
Of course. He's just being very nice here. I don't know why Casket seems to say no to ideas because it's the exact same reason he doesn't want to ride the scooter. I feel like he's like, I don't want to be a laughing stock or something, but I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like they would be laughing with you if you made that phone video.
I find it unreal that he's so self-conscious about using a scooter outside, but he'll broadcast to YouTube without a shirt on. Like, those
Yeah.
two things, I can't square those.
Because
two
I'll
things.
go outside without a shirt on.
Oh, for real? That
What?
makes even less sense.
What?
What is
I
so
didn't even know.
socially stigmatizing about a fucking scooter? I don't get it, man.
Casket? What do you say?
Like maybe it's because you're not from America, or maybe because you're not from the South. or
It's
something.
not. Oh, come on.
Yeah, I'm a
But
dirty.
Why
it's
would
Canadian.
you? When do you
When
go
see
outside
a fat
without
guy
a
and a
shirt?
rascal, you have two thoughts.
Mhm.
You think, is he actually sick? Or, oh, that poor man. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to be thinking, oh, does he actually need that?
When do you go outside without a shirt?
He probably needs to get the mail or something, but even
Yeah,
then,
you
that's
get the mail,
strange to
take
me.
out the trash.
You know what's weird? Casket? I was in my local Walmart the other day, this week, when I was getting groceries. There was a man who was, I would guess 60. He had white hair, but he wasn't super old. He was in a scooter, and weirdly, he had like a button-up shirt, but the shirt was not buttoned up at all. It was completely unbuttoned. He had nothing under it, and it was completely just like to his side, and his whole stomach and chest was
And he was
completely
riding
open.
on that scooter, not giving a fuck about what anybody was thinking over here.
That's what he was doing. And it was actually the most shocking thing I've ever seen in Walmart in my life, because you just don't see a man's full midsection completely exposed typically.
Welcome to America.
Right. Only in America. Casket,
Cat-
what do you
Casket, you have problems sitting up, right?
Yeah, because of my back.
So if you were on a scooter sitting upright, like how much time would you give yourself before you'd have to tap out?
Anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes.
That doesn't make sense because you go to restaurants like sit down places. That's longer than 30 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess that's true, but that's usually because I'm distracted.
right? I saw somebody in the live stream recently send a message, and I think he was actually asking about Casket's setup, not sit up, but setup. And Casket read it, and he was like, "I don't want to sit up right now," and he just like kind of didn't engage with the rest of the question. But I think in general, Casket is not interested whatsoever in terms of sitting up. In fact, a classic Casket video is, I don't remember the title of it, but it's the first one. You were like, I'm going to sit in my chair now. I got a new chair and I'm going to sit in it. And then the next video is called like Failure or something.
Yeah.
And you said, I tried to sit in the chair and I cannot sit in the chair. and you were really disappointed in
Well, you
yourself.
gotta think
Do you
this is
remember that,
before I
Cass?
was like medicated for my arthritis. So the fact that I
Yeah,
had
that's
made it
true.
in 2 days was insane.
What weight would you say you were at the time that you did that video?
Gosh, 350 maybe.
Yeah. 'Cause,
Why?
like arthritis is a problem, but it's more of a problem when you're carrying more weight because it's just gonna put more weight on the inflammation. So like if you're sitting at that chair and you weren't 300 and something pounds, but if you're like 200 and something, it would have been less painful.
Oh yeah.
You'd still have the
Wow.
arthritis. You'd still have the arthritis, but it wouldn't be as um as strong.
Wow. Incredibly, last round says tramadol. I don't know. I don't know if Cass is on that or if he's not. I don't know if Casket wants to say anything. Casket, here's a weird thing that can I ask you?
Yeah, sure.
There was a video that you posted that's basically the only Casket lost media that I can think of at this point, which was called Losing Weight and Getting Healthy Through Eating Heart Healthy Cheerios.
Oh
And you
yeah.
posted it and it got deleted like within a day, if I remember correctly. And I was asking you about it, and I said, why was that deleted? And you said, my mom told me to delete it because she thought it was embarrassing for me. This was in my opinion, the first appearance of shirtless Casket King. And I assumed that was what the problem was. But now you're shirtless all the time. So
Yeah, but I'm
what was
also
going
not
on
sitting
there?
there
Was it
making a
deleted
fool of
because
myself.
it was just you kind of joking around? I mean, I personally felt like the only thing that might be mock worthy in that video was you. This was worse as a video, in my opinion, in terms of what somebody might make fun of you.
Better in
But
terms of quality, but
I mean, did you see that video, Jeff? Which was
oh yeah, it was a banger. It was like the 10-second video.
Yeah.
no, it wasn't. It was like a minute and a half, if I remember
Oh,
correctly.
you're talking about the Cheerios video.
Yeah, Wieners
Yeah,
was
yeah, I
but
was
I mean
referring to the
the
Wiener video.
losing weight and getting heart healthy through eating.
No,
Losing
I
weight and
wouldn't have.
getting healthy.
I
Yeah,
missed that one.
is that video totally lost or
Oh,
is
it's
it
totally
piloted,
lost.
Cass?
Oh,
Yeah, it was just imagine this right now. Here's the exact video. If Casket sat up right now, because he would be shirtless, and then he just kind of moved his hands around like you would expect him if he were like dancing, and he just said kind of like, I'm losing weight and getting healthy through eating heart healthy Cheerios. It was just basically that video. I don't remember if there was anything else, Casket, but it was just like basically that. And I assume the reason it got took down was just because you were shirtless. Like, but now, yeah, it's just not a thing anymore. You don't care about being shirtless.
Well, like I said, I'm not the one that took the video down. So
Yeah, that's true. Casket is not the
yeah.
one.
The focus group didn't like it. The focus group was his mom. Did your mom
basically,
watch like your recent videos?
not really. She doesn't really watch my videos.
Did you see the Halloween King music video?
Oh, I did show that to her. She liked it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, what do you even like say to set that up? Like, I got a cool music video about me.
Like, yeah, like check out this video my friend Jeff made. A music video for Halloween.
I hope she didn't find it too mean spirited.
No, she liked it.
I had to try to add some comedic elements to it.
I remember when Alice, it was actually the weird, I shouldn't say weirdest, but it was like, it made me think differently about the whole thing. But Alice one time told me, "Oh, my family knows about you." And I said, "How do they know about me, of all people?" And she said, "Well, I was talking to my family at one point, and I said, oh, the historian did something." And then I guess she explained me a little bit. And I was like, I wasn't mad, certainly, but I was just, it kind of gave me pause because I was thinking, this is so strange. Like now Alice's family knows about me, and I'm just a bigger member in the casket verse at that point. In fact, it's now 9, and I really do. I wish I could stay, but I have to go. But Casket, the last thing I'll ask is, what does Mama Casket, if anything, know about me? Does
Well,
she know me?
She finds you interesting. She really likes the interesting like history facts about the family.
Wow. Yeah. What have you said? Can you tell me anything that you've like said? Okay, I can think of specific history facts you might say, but like outside of that, did you ever say anything about like the historian? Like like what would be said?
I just like, yeah, he's a good friend of mine.
Okay, good. Last round says what WTF is happening? Why all crypto's going down? I don't know this. I would like to stay. I wish it were not Sunday. Ooh, it rhymes, but I do have to go. Sorry to Casket King Jeff and any JoJo in the YouTube chat, but I do. I gotta go. Casket, I'll talk to you next week, probably in the next installment of the Casket Verse Crew podcast. Which
Yeah, I'll
who
just say
knows?
quickly, Historian, before you go, make sure
Sorry?
to tune into next week's Casket Crew podcast, which is on Saturday at 7 p.m. Me and the Historian are going to be debating Home Alone. So stick around for
Ooh,
that.
that is a good one. I hope I can make it because I want to hear what Jeff and the historian will say on that topic. One thing I love, and actually, Extra Queso is talking a lot about an intro. I have in my opinion, if there wasn't going to be an intro written for this, I think it should be the intro to University Challenge, and the intro is called College Boy. And I just think it's so fitting. But I always do it, and I'll just say where it comes from because I've said before, but maybe not on live stream. Whenever I leave, I say, it's a goodbye from me. And I get this from University Challenge, and that's what I say now. So until next week, it is a goodbye from me.
The Historian, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, let me cue the applause.
Yes, nice. All right,
Oh,
Jeff.
there's one thing I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, we can probably end it here unless you want to keep going, but
Yeah, let's go ahead and end it
I
here.
had one
We've been
more
going for
question
almost
for you.
4 hours now. I don't think people will mind if we end it here. We had a great time with you guys.
All
I
right,
hope
that's
you
cool.
had a great time watching us. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.
Take care and brush your hair.